New York City, 6 a.m. An out-of-control satellite radio show is being broadcasted to millions of Americans. At the controls, Opie, the father.
Oh, this is perfect. This is how it should be.
Anthony Cumia, an alcoholic.
Hey, hi.
And Jim Norton, a comedian.
It's me! I work here!
Glad I got that one out.
Are we on live now? Is it happening? This is it?
The three men make up the Opie and Anthony Show, a popular radio program known for its cringe style of entertainment and having very few limits.
I like where this is going. I'm seeing a lot of options here.
This is like different than any other radio.
No telling what we're going to hear in here today. Tits, ass, tons of cuss words.
It's just not like radio. It's like hanging out.
In the past, they have been accused of multiple FCC violations and have even gotten their show suspended from satellite radio.
This is why. This is American freedom of speech.
It's good on every level.
Insane.
Every second is funny.
Wildly funny.
And philosophically spotless.
Everything you are about to hear is real. Real people, real excitement. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Here we are.
Good morning.
Here we are.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. A little chilly this morning, huh? We're a little cold.
Coldest day since April.
Oh, is that it?
Coldest day.
What do we got here?
I don't understand that clock thing.
We set the clocks back, right?
Weren't we good? Wasn't it working out just fine?
Yeah.
Why would we want to just make darkness 3:30 in the afternoon? Why?
I don't know why that happens.
Well, I mean, why can't we just change that?
Yeah.
We run the planet now. Go, all right, maybe it made sense with the ancestors and farming, whatever the fuck they tell you every year.
Why they did it, I have no clue.
But I don't want it to be dark at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Who does?
No one does.
Who wants that?
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Move it the other way.
I was looking outside, I saw it was dark, and then I look at the clock, and I'm like, oh boy, here it comes.
Right.
Now it starts.
If I have to hear one more person, you get an extra hour of sleep though. It's like, when it's 6 o'clock, it's actually supposed to be 7 o'clock. So you're actually gonna. No, it didn't work at all.
No,
I'm just as tired right now as I usually am.
Fucking exhausted.
Right. No, you don't understand though, because they do that. It's an extra hour, and
Is it?
You feel a little better in the.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of cool though, I did not have to set anything. Like, hey, make sure you turn back your clocks and stuff. There isn't one thing in your house anymore, or that you use, or that you actually physically have to turn a dial back an hour anymore.
My lazy car.
Oh, you got a lazy car?
Yeah, I think I got to upgrade my car.
Oh, yeah.
Just so that doesn't happen.
If your car isn't
I think that was the only one I had a set.
If your car isn't connected to the atomic clock, it's time to get a new one.
And an old school alarm clock. The booze.
Yeah.
I had a turn back the booze.
Yeah. Oh, this guy says a watch. You got to reset your watch. But who the fuck wears a watch anymore unless it's a fashion statement? You don't even have to put the time on your watch anymore.
No.
You have your phone out so much that you constantly just kind of know what time it is.
You're so right.
Right on your open screen there, your home screen.
I got a Rolex when I got married, a really nice Rolex from my wife. And you're right. Every once in a while, if we go to a wedding or a function, I'll put that on as a thing. But I do not put the right time on it. I just put it on my wrist. You're right.
It used to be that your watch was really the only way to tell time when you were kind of not near a clock.
Yeah.
You'd use your watch. Now it's fucking, you got your phone on you. There it is, your home screen. Bam! There's the time, weather, fucking everything. Mm-hmm. It's great.
So.
Meaning.
What time is it supposed to be now? 7:17?
Something like that. But
it's 38 degrees in New York City.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's officially, fall.
Yes.
It's officially fall.
Yeah, we're finally there.
We had our last couple of nice days here in the Northeast, as they say. It was kind of nice over the weekend. A little warm, kind of nice.
How was your weekend? How was the party? How was Halloween? How was, watching football?
Halloween, the Halloween party on Friday night was epic.
Epic?
It was an epic party.
Wow.
A lot of people, a lot of fun. Everyone was cool. There wasn't any drama or problems, which I don't get at my house anyway, you know. But everybody was cool. Fired up the compound studio. A lot of people in and out. A lot of debauchery going on in there. There were chicks.
Oh, nice.
Chicks showed up because the man that shall not be named, Troy Kwan, he brought some bitches.
He brought the bitches.
He brought the bitches.
Good for Troy.
Yeah, Troy brought some bitches. A couple of guys brought some bitches. And, you know, they were singing and dancing. It was crazy. And then Who Kid rolled up in a Rolls-Royce.
Is that his?
Yeah.
He's got a Rolls-Royce?
Rolls.
Yeah, he's got a Phantom.
Man,
It's a Phantom. He fucking rolls up with one of his fucking homies.
man, those people don't know how to save money.
Oh, jeez.
Because then I follow him on Instagram, and then he broke out the Hummer yesterday. It looked
Right.
like.
That's right.
He doesn't own any of them.
Was it leased?
Oh, he doesn't own any of them.
He's got his little scams that he works out.
It's a deal, you know.
yeah,
He's
he's
got
got
a little
deals.
deal going
What
on.
kind of deal with a Rolls Royce?
It's a deal, you know. It's not illegal, but it's a thing he's got working.
You know,
What is the thing?
What?
one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the thing?
You just find weird. I don't know how it's done, but you find weird ways to pay people for things and.
Oh, Weeze is like that.
Yeah.
Endorsements and things.
Weeze likes a good barter.
Oh, who doesn't?
A good deal.
Do you
Who
think that
doesn't?
Bill Kid talks about it on his show? Maybe his Rolls Royce.
There might be some
Well, I mean,
something.
It's all over his Instagram. You know what I mean? So
The giant cat attacking me on live from the compound. It was a lot of fun. God damn it.
So he could get his hands on a Rolls Royce.
he's got one.
Yeah, but
Yep.
It's in his garage.
but how does that pay off for the Rolls Royce people?
I don't know if it's the Rolls-Royce
Because-
people. I don't know if it's other people.
A dealership.
What
a
he
fucking.
puts a couple little videos on Instagram and a couple shots, and what the Rolls Royce
all it
people
takes.
assume someone's going to pick one up
He was-
casually.
He was like, you know, I had to leave my house to go into the driveway
Right.
to take a picture with him in front of the Rolls. So maybe, you know, hey, maybe he sends that off somewhere, you know, tweets it
But-
around.
But there's only 12 Rolls Royces in the entire world. You know
Right.
that,
Really?
right? Yeah, there's only 12 of them.
What?
So how did he get one of them?
Is it like fruitcakes?
It's like fruitcakes. Yes.
Yeah, so he was there with one of his homies, hanging out just there. There it is. Just having a great time. He said it was pretty off the hook. He
Yo.
didn't know white people did it. He pulls up and he rolls his window down. And he's like, "Man, I ain't never been in a neighborhood like this." Yeah, he was pretty amazed by the whole neighborhood thing.
Right.
And then he thought that like white people are crazy with that party.
I mean, it was a good example of white people being crazy.
Oh, yeah, he's like, this. He goes, I've been going to the wrong places.
Like, he started freaking out because somebody dressed as Batman was singing Neil Diamond. Or something on stage.
Right, exactly.
What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is this?
That sounds cool.
Oh, it was great. It was, I mean, a lot of fucking people. Little Beavis was the hit of the party, too. Everyone, there's Who Kid dancing around with Freddy Krueger.
He's doing the white guy dance to Freddy Krueger.
White guy dancing.
Yeah, white people dance.
Doing white people dance. You're doing the white people dance.
There he is posing with Big A.
Oh, yeah.
Big A.
Yeah, get heavy again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on, Big A.
Gets
Doing?
those,
Hang in there.
see, he went to the dentist to get those teeth fixed. It's like getting the fucking auger fixed in a wood chipper. You could shove more shit in there. That's Roland is in there. Yeah.
What time did the party go to?
Actually, the last remnants of the party left at about 10 o'clock yesterday morning. It was a...
Sunday?
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
yesterday?
It went all through Saturday.
Because the
Oh,
party was
wow.
on Friday.
Yeah. But then, you know, Saturday... So that's why a bunch of people were like, why'd you have your party on Friday? Most people have their parties on like Saturday. I'm like, no. That way I could roll it into Saturday and then wind it down Sunday.
How many people were there Saturday?
Saturday was about maybe 9. 8 or 9 people.
There's people hanging out.
Oh, yeah. It was
That's
a small little
hangout.
thing, but it was,
right.
just kind of hanging out.
I wanted to come Friday night.
Oh, I know,
late,
Jimmy.
like,
you were so missed.
Nah, I was getting late, and I was like, I didn't want to come as it was winding down. I felt, plus,
Oh, no.
I didn't get home until late, and I was like,
How was Dice?
It was great. The show was great. We had
Sold out?
No, but close. We did much better than I thought we were going to do.
Very
Actually,
good.
At the very end. It was mobbed. And I just didn't want to come over like 2 in the morning. I'm like, I don't want. If it was winding
2
down,
was like.
But I know.
Yeah.
I was home checking up on Twitter and shit.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
see dumb Bobo. I'm like, some stuff's still
Dumb
happening.
Bobo.
Some stuff's still happening.
Bobo.
Who's the girl?
Well, that's Wendy. She was kissing Bobo, and then Reverend Bob Levy was amazed when Bobo was getting hugged by Wendy. There's a still picture of it that we're looking at right now. Joe Curry was dressed like a pimp, so he had one of those, like a cane, a walking stick thing, and he would lift up the front of Bobo's tunic because he's dressed as like Friar Tuck or something.
Wait, wasn't he? I'm confused. He was at Jimmy's show.
Yeah, he
What
showed
time
up
did he show
later.
up at your house?
Like
I didn't know
1.
that.
He was at your show.
He showed up at like 1.
All I know is when I was watching, Dice was on, and I come out the side door to look at the audience a little bit, and I happen to look right at fucking Marianne and Lady Di.
Oh, no.
In the middle of Andrew's set, they're going, "Hi, how are you?"
God. Oh, they're just clueless.
I had to go back. I couldn't even watch the show because they were
They're
just yelling at me.
clueless.
You see her glam shot? She redid her Twitter photo.
Oh, it's horrible. She looks like a pinhead.
But she got made up for it though.
Is that made up?
To put her best foot forward. And
Best hoof.
horrendous. Bobo showed up at 1.
Yeah, like 1. Bob Levy, Joe picked up the front of his tunic, and he had that little boner sticking out because Wendy was like hugging him, and then Wendy took her top off, and oh boy,
Can we get Bobo jerked off
Bobo was
at least?
getting all excited.
Can we just get him jerked off? Get a girl in front of him, let her jerk him off.
There's
Oh,
the
my
new
God.
Lady Di glamour shot for her.
She should have a clock in her stomach.
And she's got the worst Twitter name. What?
It's Diana Urbani 777.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. So she's getting followers, though. People love her Twitter account.
Yeah, she's fun.
Oh, she is terrible.
But that's a horrendous shot that she thought looked good.
Yeah, she's made it. Now it's like there's a glare from the sun, and it's blurry. Like it's every trick to not actually see what the fuck she looks like.
And thank God she's got Vaseline on her lens, so that helps out a little bit.
Terrible picture.
Bobo's supposed to be slow or something, right? How the fuck does he figure out how to get all the way out to Long Island after a Jim Norton show and also have a costume for the Halloween party?
Oh yeah, he's
How does he figure that shit out?
And we knew it was time to go, and it was also the perfect, like, end to Who Kids experience at this weird white person's party.
Right.
Because Who Kid and me were leaving, and we opened the front door, and Bobo's just standing on Aunt's doorstep.
Oh, it's time to go.
In a costume.
In a costume.
It's not easy to get to Aunt's house. So how does he do this?
What time did
His
you
cousin took him.
It was like...
Oh, he just got an easy ride. It wasn't it wasn't like trains and taxis.
No, his
and...
cousin was like his keeper.
Okay, all
that
right,
night.
fair
But
enough.
he's standing at my door. Remember that scene in Sling Blade?
Yeah.
When Carl was just standing at the door until it fucking opens. That's what Bobo does.
It was probably like 1:30.
Oh, okay.
And we were like, it's time to go.
It's time.
It's time to go.
There was some
time.
girls there, huh? Very nice. It seemed like it was a pretty fucking jumping.
There was some chicks. They're singing, fucking dancing around. Tits are shaking.
Really? Nice.
Big
Her
tits.
tits were shaking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's some fucking ladies right there.
Yeah, one of them was doing a headstand and twerking in front of the camera. You see it?
Yep, I
Was her
saw
hiney
that.
shaking?
Oh, yeah.
Little hiney
I
shake.
saw that
Which one?
one.
Which
The one
one,
in the
Sam?
stripes.
Was she the one in
Where?
stripes?
Let me see her.
Not the.
Were those the Troy Kwan girls?
Oh,
yeah.
I would have had no shot with any of them anyway.
Troy Kwan
Do they work
girls
here?
were,
No.
they were nice.
One of them does.
Which one?
Xena.
Oh, I know her. Okay.
Warrior Princess. There's
Her. You know her.
Oh, she's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But then the other girls. They,
And pretending to get attacked with Beavis. Is that forced perspective?
that's forced perspective. Yeah, they put Beavis right by the camera lens, so I recoil, and it looks like he's striking me on the head. A giant cat.
Yeah.
Everyone loved Little Beav. Even Sam Roberts was. Beavis crawled right up in Sam's lap, and Sam was petting him.
You like him?
Yeah, he fell asleep on me.
Oh,
I'm listening to you.
Yeah.
Did Beavis get trampled?
No, there was a lot of people there, and he was just socializing. He was barely on the floor because everybody just wants to pick him up.
You're brave with your stuff. I admire that. Like I'm such a. I would never let my cat walk around those. I'd be afraid someone's gonna step on his little paws and break them.
He was just being picked up, and there he is. Look, a little Beavis and little Sam's lap. And,
you're hurting him.
Stop it! You're hurting him.
Like Don Corleone.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just
good time.
Really a good time.
How was Bob? How was Bob Levy?
Bob was fun, man. He showed up. We did a compound show for a while. The compound cameras were running like the whole time, so whoever wanted to go in there could just go in there. So then at one point it was me and Bob, and we were on there for about an hour and a half maybe, and just talking to all the various people that were in there. There's Bobo's boner, and
Bobo's got a hard on, but he's like got his arms up in the air and he's pointing to the camera. Yeah, baby.
At one time,
rock and roll.
I do believe, since Bob Levy is a reverend, that he did marry Wendy and Bobo.
Oh, okay.
So they could then leave and go up to the honeymoon suite. But I don't know what happened. I don't think anything.
Did she fuck him?
Really? No.
Oh my God.
That would.
You asked that as a real question.
He would have.
That ain't happening.
He was getting very excited just at the prospect of seeing her tits and stuff. So.
Somebody just jerked this kid off. Put a glove on and just yank this dumb prick until he
Jerk
comes.
this kid off.
Jesus.
Just make him jizz.
Yeah.
You know, let him play with your tits and fucking shoot a load on your feet. Throw you $100.
Yeah, somebody should with that fucking excuse for a pecker.
For Pete's sake.
Yeah. Really terrible.
Just jerk him off already.
Yeah, and then, the next day was pretty much just a few cocktails and some good movies, things like that. And it kind of oozed into Sunday morning where I was upstairs in bed and I finally heard like the door going.
And that was it.
I was listening. I'm like, Well, I punch up my cameras too.
Who was the last to leave?
Who's still here? Good question. Might have been, it's either Drew Boogie.
Was the last to leave?
Or, no, at the same time. Mikey Cuffs, Dennis. There were a few people.
Dennis Falcone?
No, not Dennis Falcone. That would have been great. No Dennis. Wendy. Jess.
No more Dennis?
Well, I didn't need a DJ.
Oh, there was no
Dennis
DJ.
is out, huh?
No, there was karaoke and music.
He's out.
Some music, karaoke.
Dennis is more for the outside parties?
Yeah, you don't want to constrain him to inside. Yes, E-Rock.
For the last 2 weeks, he's been trying to time it to meet you in the hallway or by the elevator as you were leaving. But he said every time he said hi to you, he said, he just kind of walked right by.
Oh, no. Did I blow him off? Yeah. He could have come.
You didn't invite him. He felt uninvited.
Oh, he knows I don't invite people. I just go show up.
He wanted to invite.
He definitely did want the invite.
Yeah,
he thought he wasn't invited.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's right.
E-Rock, where were you?
You don't like him, remember?
Oh, I didn't know you were talking to me. I didn't come out.
Why?
Because she got out of work too late, and we just didn't want to deal with that.
Wait, too late? What time did she work until?
Like 7:38.
Oh, that's way too late to go to that party on a Friday.
Might as well blow off the whole weekend.
Yeah. Gonna go home and just paint He-Man models. So she got out at 7:30 or 8, and then what'd you do?
She came home, we made dinner, watched a movie.
Oh, boy.
We just didn't want to deal with Long Island right now.
Well, yeah, it is, a long kind of a trip there. What are you
probably
going to do?
got there just in time for the festivities to really ramp up.
Oh, yeah. It would have taken like an hour, maybe.
Hour and a half.
Like 8:39, you'd have been there, and, it was cranking.
Laughing.
I wish I would have went after.
Partying.
I should have went. Yeah, it was like I went out to dinner after. I was starving with Kenny and some friends, and got to be a little late. And I was like, go home and make some cum on myself.
Yeah, that was. I think it was the most people had over there at one time.
Really?
Pretty crazy.
I had my fucking outfit too.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, well,
Chip's fucking peckerhead hat. That was my costume.
That's a good one.
That was my whole costume.
There was no signs of slowing when I left either. It wasn't like I left because it was dying down.
What time did Troy and the girls leave?
No,
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. They were there for a while.
Yeah.
Let's get him in here, man.
No.
I'm not doing that bit anymore. I really want to just get him in here now.
I know.
That was a fun little bit, but I'm over it.
Right?
I think we can get him in now.
Yeah, we could get him in. I'll talk to Tim. Figure it out.
Got him on the compound show. He talked.
Yeah?
He's on camera talking. It's amazing. That's something you don't see. Oh, boy. Yeah, so it was fun. Good weekend. Halloween wasn't too bad. A few, pesky kids coming to the door.
Yeah. They take all the candy?
No, you know what? I didn't see one African-American child come to my door. Not a one.
Words out.
I know, it must be. A very pale, pasty pale collection of children came to my door. Yeah.
Any outrageous costumes at your party?
Like the KKK kid that caused a stir in Virginia, or the marathon. The
marathon broad.
The bombed marathon victim.
Someone sent me a video of her, like in the shower. Is that
It's
real?
our giant tits.
That's real, huh?
Our big soapy tits.
Who's giant?
This girl that got in trouble because she dressed as a bombing victim from the marathon, the Boston Marathon.
Enough with people getting mad at the fucking costumes.
And she got fucking like, her parents are getting threats, and she gets fired from her job. And
she got fired?
Yeah, it's like it's astounding. These people are fucking assholes.
Yep.
If she wants to go to a party dressed like that, and even wants to post it on her fucking Instagram, whatever, who cares? You could be offended by it, but that's where it ends.
Tasteless Halloween costumes are a part of Halloween. They've been a part of Halloween forever.
For a long time.
Now everyone's all pissed off. Look at those big soapy tits.
Big areolas, too. She's juicy.
Got a sleeve on her left arm, too.
Oh, yeah, she got a lot of tats.
That really is her?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's amazing people get mad and offended and want to punish you for what a bunch
Punish.
of
They had
cunts.
her parents were getting death threats.
Of course.
And her family, her employer, everything. They're trying to get every bit of information they can, and for what? Because she dressed tasteless in a tasteless costume. Who cares?
With a Trayvon girl. So who gives a fuck? It's Halloween. People dress tastelessly. Christopher Reeve's injury was tasteless. People dress like it. Like you said, dead John Bonet. People do that on Halloween.
Yeah. And there was that girl that was in between the guy that was dressed like Trayvon and the guy that was dressed like Zimmerman. And she's just dressed like some leprechaun little thing. Right. In between both of them. Kind of, with her arms around the two guys. She gets fired. Guilt by association by Instagram. It has nothing to do with it.
That's the world we live in, though.
It's a fucking disgusting display of phony outrage and these powerless people that finally get an opportunity to exercise a little power over someone, and they use it like they wield it like fucking Hitler would. Yeah. People are disgusting. Who cares if she's dressed in a fucking costume like that?
It doesn't mean anything.
Gives a shit.
It's irrelevant.
Means nothing. And everybody that's bitching, I'm sure you've done something or posted some picture that would piss somebody off. It really is just terrible.
Yeah, it's fuck. But that's the free thinking country.
Oh
we live
yeah,
in.
free progressive thinkers.
Yeah, real progressive country.
Fuck that.
There's a penalty for doing a joke on Halloween.
Yeah.
You fucking cunts. That should be the penalty.
Losing your job and fucking that should be the penalty for offending you. It's terrible.
Used to have the right to be offended in America.
Yeah, whatever happened
Remember
to
those days?
I'm a little upset. Oh, sorry about that. That's it. Too bad.
It's the right to offend, really. You used to have the right to offend, and the people that were offended had to fucking deal with it.
Right.
Because there's nothing that says that you can't be offended. So fucking just relax.
You're right. The right to be offended.
Dunces.
To offend. But no tasteless costumes at your house?
I'm trying to think. I don't think so.
And what the hell was up with the KKK kid?
Yeah, that kid in Virginia, I guess his mom, he asked his mom if he could dress as the KKK kid from the
I guess the mom just hates her kid, right?
No, her mom seemed a little fucking...
But to send him out like that...
She's like, you're going to get into some problems, so... if you want to, you can. It's some kind of tradition, I guess. Some of the he's adorable. He's a little KKK kid.
How old?
I don't know. He's like...
You got video of this?
Yeah, he's 7.
7?
7.
That's where the mother's a bit of a stupid cunt.
The mother is really kind of off.
Yeah,
I mean, she's a little off.
You're just getting your kid into situations that don't need to happen.
It's not even a KKK outfit that you could pass off as like a ghost because the big red insignia.
Of course. Oh, he went all in.
A KKK outfit. And, of course, the news has to send the black woman reporter there to do the story.
Right.
And she talks with the kid and the mother. And the mom is not very smart.
New at 11, Halloween is over, but the controversy surrounding a costume is continuing after a Craigsville boy dressed as a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Cool, you fucking dummy.
Lisa Gale met with the mother of that boy who wanted to clear the air.
John, I also met with Jackson Black, who is wearing this costume that you see here. This picture was posted to our Facebook page by a viewer. It stirred up a lot of controversial comments that we have since removed. A word of caution, this story may be hard for children to watch.
Why?
Tradition is
How is this hard to watch?
And I watched this waiting for the part that might be hard to watch. It's not. There's nothing in this.
Of course.
I don't know. Let her rip.
Creating a stir in the town of Craigsville.
My brother has when he was in kindergarten and when he was 13.
That's why when Jessica Black's 7-year-old son asked if he could also dress as a member of the white supremacist group, the Ku Klux Klan, she made the costume for him.
Because it was cool.
What was cool about it?
The hat.
I did tell him that, if you do it, there's going to be people talking about you. There's going to be people that say bad things to you when you do wear it.
Neighbors say this is one of several streets. Brook Hollow.
This is a news story.
I know.
How the fuck is this a news
story? In the middle of bumfuck Virginia.
This is shit.
I do love, though, that the grown woman is saying, I explained to the 7-year-old that there were bigger consequences to this, and he seemed okay with that.
He seemed fine with it. I took his word. Yeah, this is not a news story. This is stupid.
Road that Jackson was seen trick-or-treating. They say they were shocked when they saw his costume.
I just think it's really sad, that a kid is being taught that young, because they don't know any better. You don't hear that much about it nowadays.
When I asked Jackson Black where he had learned of the costume, he said he saw it in the movie Fried Green Tomatoes. His mom maintains there is nothing wrong with the costume or the Ku Klux Klan, which she says still exists in Craigsville.
It's supposed to be white with white, black with black, man and with woman, and all of that. That's what the KKK stands for. The KKK every year raises money to donate to the St. Jude's.
Will you still wear the costume?
Yes, it's not okay. You're offending a lot of people by one little action.
Jessica Black says she has received several threats via Facebook because of this photo of Jackson that was posted on our Facebook page. It was clear after speaking with Jackson Black that he is too young to understand race. His mother says she would allow her son to dress as a Ku Klux Klan member again, even if he asked. And she says growing up, when her siblings wore the costume, no one made a big deal out of it.
I bet. Yeah. Before, Instagram.
Whatever.
It's all social media that's bringing this to the forefront, because all of these costumes, all of these things that are said, and the costumes that offend people, they were all out there. This isn't some new fucking thing. But now people can jump on it and be, But
it's also like areas where a 7-year-old would dress as a KKK member.
Right.
A lot of people aren't offended by the KKK.
Exactly.
So once you unleash that onto the world, they're like, what the fuck is going on?
It was all very regional.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had a pisser with him in his little KKK outfit.
And everyone's just a few clicks away from going viral.
Yeah.
That used to be just a Polaroid. Look what my kid did this Halloween.
Yeah. Well,
Pass it around that way a little bit,
I'm sure her siblings that wore it when they were in kindergarten and at 13 years old that she spoke about, there's pictures of them, but it was before social media, so they just did it. I'm sure some neighbors were offended, and it ended. That was it.
Well, the hat was cool.
The hat was cool.
Yeah.
But now you need some type of solution, some type of end game, an apology, a firing, a public flogging, a tar and feathering, whatever the fuck people expect, some type of ending to these things. They want a solution.
Yeah. But it's crazy that these are all the anti-bullying people that are just so hungry to bully somebody.
They love it.
That the minute they get one of those excuses to do it,
they jump on.
They'll ruin a life.
And yeah, the dumb fucking Boston Marathon wounded runner woman.
Yeah.
She fucking had a picture of her license up in an earlier post from maybe months or maybe even years ago.
Oops.
And they found that, so they got her address, and And boy, once they get info, they do love bullying.
Oh, yeah, but they all say it's because, well, she shouldn't have. How about just again more dishonesty from people?
Yeah,
I like to fucking jump on somebody when I see something happening.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
People love to bully. The only reason there is bullying is because people like to bully. They like jumping on the pile. It's just a new phenomenon. I don't know how we deal with it in the way it should be dealt with, which is not acknowledging some of these dolts that get offended. Why do we have to bend over backwards to not offend anybody? Nonetheless, like it's a very small group of people. It's never a lot of people.
No.
And so what? You're offended. So the fuck what that you're offended?
Absolutely.
Who gives a shit? Why do you need an apology or something?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's almost. It's so tiring at this point.
Getting fired from work.
Right.
Getting fired from your job for doing something off of work. By the way.
Right.
That's
not illegal.
That supposedly offends somebody.
Remember, it's not illegal.
It's not illegal at all. As a matter of fact, it's protected by the laws of the land, and it gets you thrown out of your fucking job.
If you don't defend people's right to say things you don't like, I really mean this. You're a shit American.
You're an asshole.
You're an absolute dog shit American.
A shitty American that doesn't even understand the most basic concepts of the laws and rights of this country. You don't get it. You're too fucking stupid to even understand something like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights of this country.
And selfish. Even if they get it, they're just selfish. Hitchens did a great speech. I think it was in Toronto.
I wouldn't want to hear it, and he shouldn't be able to say it.
I 100% agree. That's what I was going to say. Lucky for him, he's dead, because I was hunting him. He raised great points about free speech and how when you stop someone from saying something, you're also robbing yourself of the right to hear it.
Yeah.
And it was really, and he was shaming them for something. They had about hate speech. It was something along the lines of how hate speech is being banned, and he was saying that something about it was wrong because the things that really have the hate speech, like the Bibles and the Korans, are protected.
Those are so protected.
Like anti-homosexual speech is very banned. Oh, it's rude and it's terrible and you can't do it in a college. Try banning a Bible from college, which is where all gay hate speech comes from. The fucking Bible.
That's true.
It's allowed. It was brilliant speech. So look up Hitchens on free speech. It's just people they're so fucking self-righteous when it comes to this.
You're right, and your freedom to practice religion and the freedom to have the Bible and not have it censored from what it was. That is no more protected than anyone's basic right to free speech.
Right.
It's the same thing. So why is it that when you say something that's deemed hate speech, but the same stuff is in these religious books, like the Bible and the Quran, why don't you get the same latitude?
Absolutely.
To say it without these repercussions? And it is astounding how dumb fucking people are.
Well, and they're afraid, by the way, to criticize religion. They're afraid to criticize Catholicism,
of course,
or whatever. How come no one's fired for that?
Yeah.
If you're quoting the Bible on Instagram or like on a video, you'd never get fired. Quote the Quran about homosexuals or the Bible or whatever, the Torah. Never would they fire you, and the outrage and the backlash from religious people would be astounding. They'd come right after any job that fired you. He's quoting the Bible and you're firing him?
All you have to do is put the Bible says and then put some horrific anti-gay thing. If you put I think and then you put the same exact thing, you'd get fucked for the I believe, I think, as opposed to the Bible says.
Absolutely.
Go to Boston. Brian, what's up?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Hey, buddy.
So, check this. Obviously, I'm in 100% agreement with y'all that girl, whatever the hell she wants to say, if she wants to be a dumbass, let her be a dumbass. But the people that she works for, everybody knows that she was stupid, and whether or not it's right to offend the people, she offended a lot of people. Shouldn't it be the right of the owners of her company to say, we don't want somebody that stupid working for us?
Technically, yes, but that's what we're trying to fight here. You know, I guess they do. I guess they do have that right, but they're hurting all of us by doing that.
So I guess if you're in an interracial relationship and you offend a lot of people, let's just say you're in an interracial relationship and you post pictures on Instagram, that offends, whether we like it or not. That offends a lot of people. Doesn't bother me. That bothers a good piece of our country.
Yep.
So should your boss be allowed to fire you, or if you're in a gay relationship and you and your partner are holding hands, should your boss be allowed to fire you because you're doing something very offensive and posting it?
The problem is whether or not we as people think that you should be able to do that or not, the foundations on which this country was founded, yes, you should be allowed to do that. I agree. It's abhorrent.
So wait, you should be allowed to fire someone for posting pictures if they're whatever, if they're gay or if they're interracial, you should be able to fire them for that. You think that's what this country was built on?
No.
Oh.
I don't think that.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think that that's what the country was built on. I think that the country was built on freedom in general, freedom to say what you want to say, freedom to believe what you want to believe, and freedom to associate with whom you want to associate with. And if you want to associate with certain people, you have that right. And if you don't want to associate with certain people, you should have that right as well.
But you shouldn't lose your job because of it.
You shouldn't lose your job.
I don't think you should lose your job over something that's not illegal.
This is also, it's the same as we look at...
It wasn't illegal behavior, which he was doing.
Nothing was illegal about it.
But a lot of people hide behind the fact that, businesses should have the right to fire these people. And we're here to say, but that's just wrong.
They celebrate them getting fired.
Right.
They feel like they've accomplished something.
Right. I mean, there was a turn in our business when, we used to have to just worry. We've said this a million times, but it's worth repeating. Where we had to just worry about the FCC, and then all of a sudden we had to start worrying about what the advertisers thought of our radio show. It's like, what? We can get fired for doing something that is completely okay as far as the FCC goes. That's crazy.
See, nobody wants to say, I want you fired because you said something I didn't like. Because that's it's self-serving.
Right.
We don't like to admit that we're it's the lie that bothers me. So they hide behind, this is not, because you're not being arrested. Technically, corporations can fire. And I'm not mocking the guy who's calling. He's just saying what's been happening.
Oh, I know.
But the intent of free speech is not to say something publicly and be able to lose everything for it.
Yeah.
Do people out there really think that's the intent and the spirit behind free speech in our country and freedom of the press and freedom of expression and thought? It's not.
No, the consequence is supposed to be perhaps a lively debate,
right?
Especially when you're just defending somebody. You're not inciting a riot. You're not inciting people to hurt anyone else. You're just expressing yourself. The repercussions should be that somebody can debate you on that. Somebody can call you on it. Someone can call you an asshole about it.
Challenge you on your thoughts, right.
It should not be that even though this corporation, I understand they have this kind of right, it's sort of a loophole workaround to not having freedom of speech.
Right.
And by the way, we're all the scumbags out there threatening this girl for her Boston bomber outfit. I wonder if they were threatening Rolling Stone for putting the real bomber on the cover.
Here you go.
I wonder if maybe they were. I don't know.
I don't know.
But people, man, it comes
freedom of speech in this country is becoming a real joke.
People don't like what you say.
Right.
They want you to get in trouble for it. That's it.
And another thing people don't understand, rights are rarely directly taken away by the government. Like this government entity comes and takes your rights. That even the dumbest of Americans would turn around and go, "Hey, they're not supposed to do that." Right. It's always done very underhandedly and sneakily. And the way it's being done now is through your livelihood, if I may use that word that everyone hates. Your ability to live your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness gets taken away from you for what you say or believe or dress as or whatever. I could give a shit if a private company has the ability to fire you because you offended people. I guess they do. Sure, they've done it before. But that is not the spirit of free speech, having that huge consequence because some people are offended.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
Well, here's Mike in Connecticut. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with the guy that called in that we certainly have the right of association. As a Jewish business owner, if one of my employees got all crazy and made all kinds of anti-Semitic remarks, I have the right not to associate with that person. I don't believe that person should suffer at the hands of the rest of society, but they're sure as hell not going to be working for me anymore, and I got the freedom to get rid of them.
Well, you're right there. But don't you think there's some type of, volume knob on offending people and also hate?
Well, hold on. But that's an extreme case. Let me ask you, if someone came to your workplace dressed as a Boston Marathon bombing victim, would you fire that person?
No, because that person doesn't offend me and is not someone that I choose not to associate with.
Okay, but you're saying basically that you have the right to not want to be around that person, and if it's your business, but you don't necessarily have that right when you're hiring, do you? Can you say you only want to hire whites?
No.
Okay, why not? If you only want to be around whites, why can't you say that?
Okay, point taken. Interesting point.
Yes,
I mean, it's not that I wouldn't understand why an owner doesn't want to be around somebody who's anti-Semitic, and I really understand that. But doesn't it all matter how that person performs at work? Because once you start breaking down stuff like that, then you're getting into okay, say the anti-Semitic stuff seems too harsh and too, okay. What about just gay relationships? What about, I keep saying interracial.
Right, yeah.
Because to us, these are normal things that are not shocking and upsetting. But to a lot of people, an interracial or a gay relationship is a fucking anti-Bible offense.
Yes.
And, why is that so protected, as it should be, and other stuff not?
Well, I think it comes down to expressing your own individual freedom, whether it's me as a business owner or whether it's the employee that wants to express anti-Semitic remarks. The individual is the one that's responsible for protecting their own liberties. I don't need somebody telling me, as a Jewish business owner, that if one of my employees makes an anti-Semitic joke, I should fire the asshole.
Right.
That's my decision to make, and I'm not going to be making someone else perform or take out actions on somebody because I think it's offensive. That person should lose their job.
Well, how about this, sir? You get an email from somebody. Now, this employee is picture perfect. Never said anything that would lead you to believe he's anti-Semitic. But you get an email from somebody that says, "Hey, by the way, one of your employees, this guy, told me an anti-Semitic joke, and you should fire him." And then you fire him. Like, that's what's happening. No, it's this mob pitchfork and torch mentality that's going on.
Yeah, I disagree with that completely. I get that email from somebody. I have a choice to make. Okay, what kind of an employee is this? Do I believe this email? Do I just ask the employee, hey, who the fuck is this that's sending me this email about you? I have the freedom and...
Some Jew.
But let me ask you, isn't there a difference between you acting as a business owner and an employer and an individual? Because as a business owner and an employer, there are, I guess, certain things you have to look at, of course, but aren't there certain feelings you have to put aside? In the sense of you can't allow certain personal prejudices or certain, like if you didn't want to hire Muslims, you're not allowed to do that legally almost.
Oh, no, Jimmy, it happens every day. I hear anti-Semitic jokes. I hear people making anti-gay jokes. And I make the decision. Okay, this is just somebody making a decision.
Because he's listening to the show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't...
No, I'm not going to lose my shit and fire somebody because they make the occasional joke that I disagree with. I make fucking jokes that people disagree with. I get that. But the point is, if the person takes it far enough that it does offend me, and it's somebody I don't want to associate with, I have the freedom to disassociate myself from them.
I don't fully disagree with you.
I don't know what the law is, though.
I think the problem is, though, the line is so, people getting fired for far less stuff than what you're talking about.
Anti-Semitism.
Right.
And it's the mob mentality that dictates this. It drives
I think that's what's scary.
The firings.
Right.
It's not one person in a cubicle going to the boss and saying, hey, fucking Peterson over there, he was saying this. It's this, no one even knows who these people are. No one knows anything about them. They see a post online and they just send a shitload of crap into their employer. It's 1984. It's witch hunting.
It's like McCarthyism.
It's dangerous.
In a way.
It's McCarthyism.
Yeah.
You're blackballing people. It's terrible. Anyone that thinks that's good in any way, shape, or form is a fucking moron.
Let's go to Matt, who wants in on this with Mike. Matt, you're on with Mike from Connecticut.
Hey, I just want to say that with my employer right now, we have a rule. If I say anything like on Facebook or publicly, and in any way, shape, or form, my company is associated with me at the moment, whether I'm wearing my name badge or their name's on my Facebook or something, I could be fired for that because me as an employee reflects that business directly. So I feel like if a business wants to, fire someone for a misrepresentation of their own business, I think that's okay. So, like with the anti-Semitism.
Okay, but what is a misrepresentation? Meaning, that's where you get into a very dicey area, because what if it's obvious, the Boston bomber, the Trayvon, they're tasteless. But what if it's something that offends people on a much deeper a personal level? What if you're in a relationship that they don't approve of?
Right.
What if all of a sudden you embrace communism? I don't particularly like that, but what if you do it? What if you switch and become a Muslim and you switch to Islam? Do they then have the right to claim the same offense and fire you?
Yeah, but how about the case where the company is a fundraising organization for Jewish charities, and one of their employees is found online to be voicing anti-Semitic sentiment? Of course the guy's going to lose his job because he does adversely affect and adversely reflect the company.
Is he? If he's a Muslim and it's part of his religion to put down Judaism and Israel?
I don't know about that. I don't know if just because somebody has a personal view, and I know we're more public now than we were hundreds of years ago and we can reach more people, but I don't know if you should be allowed to be fired for that. And there's always extreme examples. But I don't know how much of that should be fireable. It's not fair to fire people because they're saying shit you don't agree with.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like with if you're in a job that works with the public, the public is your public, So if
but the public never gives a shit.
Yeah, I know.
It's never the public that cares. It's a few people that want to exercise this fake power. Well, it's real power now, but they're getting people fired,
and it's too scary to speak up.
Yeah,
if you're the one going, what? You fired the Boston bombing broad because you wore that costume?
Now you're the next guy that's getting fucking fired,
and everyone knows that,
getting death threats.
So it makes it tough to speak up.
Yeah.
So you just allow this to go on in front of your eyes and not say much about it.
Well, I think that anybody that's going to take the action to fire someone because of what that person does or expresses or whatever needs to have the balls to say, look, this guy offended me personally, and I don't want to associate with this guy. The mob mentality that stinks, and the cowardice of hiding behind, Facebook postings and screen names and so on. I hate that. If you're going to express your freedom, you better have the balls to do it.
And people just got to be smarter out there because they know this is the culture we live in now.
Yeah, but it's going to take away from
Well, unfortunately.
Seeing things, hearing things.
But you're going to get fired for this stuff now.
That's what people are doing.
And until things change, you got to be a little more careful,
Or people need to finally fight it and vocalize how wrong it is to fire.
I don't see that happening anytime soon,
Because
unfortunately.
I agree with this guy about, use your real name. But then there's the side. People have used their real names.
Yeah.
And they're getting fired.
They get fired. It's like, fuck that. I'd rather go anonymous and be able to voice whatever you want, get your opinions out there.
Here's what people want. Use your real name, but don't say anything that offends me.
Or I'm going to use that against you and have you fired and shunned and banished.
Not you necessarily. I don't mean you.
I don't think people want to take retribution against somebody just because you've offended me. We want to have the freedom to take retribution against those people. But people offend me every day.
But why do we want to take retribution? Why?
The freedom of association, Jimmy. I don't want to deal with some asshole in my company that is so against what I believe and what I stand for. And it's my choice. It's my company. Now, if I was an employee, fellow employee, and I heard that this guy was making anti-Semitic postings, would I go running to personnel? No, absolutely not. Because he's just another guy in the company. I'm going to disassociate myself from that guy. I'm not going to invite him to my parties or any shit like that. That's my choice.
Okay.
But I'm not going to be the cowardly mob mentality type that's going to go running to personnel. Hey, on his Facebook posting, he made a Jew joke. I'm not going to do that.
So how far into your personal offense does it go? Like you said, you don't want to be around someone that doesn't agree with what you say or that offends or doesn't like what you, whatever. How far does that go? How many, okay, yeah, if he's anti-Semitic and he's a Klan member, okay, that's an extreme example. How many steps does that go?
I don't know. It's a choice that I have to make dependent upon the situation. He can be a fucking funny guy that I like hanging around with, even though the guy's a rank anti-Semite.
So is that all the employer's response? Is that all the employer has to do? Satisfy? Someone has to be kind of enjoyable to be around?
Yeah, that's the beauty of having your own company. You can fucking fire whoever you want to.
But don't you have to kind of adhere to the same hiring practices as other companies to a certain degree?
Mm-hmm. I cannot discriminate in my hiring practices, but I can certainly have a policy that says I don't want anybody working here.
Yeah, you could pretty much fire someone for anything now.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to discriminate in the hiring process at all.
But okay, but you can fire somebody if you realize that they're not a person that you like.
I understand this guy's point.
I do,
mean, if
too.
he's a Jewish business owner, he doesn't want anti-Semitic things being said around him.
I know that.
I get it.
But is it affecting the business? Is it affecting how he does his job for you? That's a big question.
I mean, we're not unreasonable. I get that part of this, but I don't get the, you wear an offensive Halloween costume, which, like we've said, has been going on forever, and you get fired for that. That's where I just don't get it.
And again, the direct...
What happens there, what's wrong there is that somebody that is outside of the company calls in and puts pressure on the business owner and says, hey, this guy is fucking offensive to me.
That's the point.
The business owner caves. The business owner doesn't say, well, I don't have a problem with him. Yeah, it's tasteful, but he's a great employee. I'm keeping him. Fuck you.
And people panic way too soon. A lot of this stuff goes away really quickly, especially in this day and age. You get 2 or 3 days of people maybe calling up your business, and then they move on to something else.
Guys, I work in.
But people panic immediately, and I guess they start thinking that their whole business is going to collapse if they don't do something immediately.
No, it's not going to happen.
Of course not, but they don't understand that yet.
Well, people have to just chill the fuck out.
All right.
There you go. Chill the fuck out.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Mikey. Appreciate the calls. Let's, we got Wayne in Colorado. Wayne, anything you could add, or are you going to say the same shit?
Yellow.
We lost Wayne?
He didn't want to wait.
He says actions have consequences, which I guess we've been discussing.
Yeah, and we all know they have consequences, but freedom of thought and freedom of expression, as far as verbal and doing things like that, shouldn't have consequences like that. And that's the excuse people use. They have consequences. Okay, so in your own personal life, if you're saying that, do something that is very, very offensive to some religious group and let the consequences be that you get fired.
Your consequences.
Let's see if you fucking say the same thing.
Let me say hi to Scott in Wisconsin. Scott.
Yeah, Jimmy, I'm a little confused, man. So you're up in arms about this chick getting fired for offending people.
He's going to mention the Redskins.
But yet you want the Redskins to change their name?
This is how predictable. Dude, I didn't look at the thing. I just looked at Opie and Anthony and said, I knew what you were going to mention. That's how predictable people are. Here's my stance on the Redskins. First of all, I don't want them to be forced into doing it. And I have never once said, don't go to Redskin games. I have never once said, boycott the Redskins. Never once have I asked for a penalty to be put on the Redskins. I think the fact...
Because it offends a group of people.
Here's my stance on why I want them to change that, because I find the name to be offensive. Because I don't want people penalized for being offensive, it doesn't mean that I would say nothing in our country is offensive. I agree that there are certain things that are, certain things that aren't. And yes, the Redskins should have the right to keep that name. I have not asked for them to be penalized.
Getting a lot of pressure, though.
The problem I have is that the NFL, and all of them, they cave in to every special interest group. They're fucking cowards. And the only group...
Now they're standing up?
But they're standing up because they don't see... Because it's going to cost them, first of all, a lot of money. And they changed the Washington Bullets. Where was the outrage over that? Where was the outrage over that?
Yeah.
How come there was nobody crying about it when they changed the name from the Washington Bullets to the Wizards?
No, we were bitching
People
about that.
bitched about it, but it wasn't like this. I wish the Redskins had the same courage if somebody said faggot or fucking or nigger or dyke or any of those words in the dressing room. or the locker room, if they stood up and said, "Hey, we don't like what he said,"
have they had one of those situations yet?
I don't know.
And if they have, how have they dealt with it? Because each team is different as far as what that shit goes.
Probably the same way that the Washington that radio station dealt with Dexter Manley. Go, go. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there was an actual incident.
Yeah, it's almost like my annoyance at this selective courage is the American Indians are the only fucking group that they have the balls to do this to teams. Yeah, but they wouldn't do it to blacks or to Jews or to Asians. If they would, I'd be fine with it. If every group was cartooned, I'm fine with it.
Well, what pisses off the Redskins owner, he didn't have the intention of getting one by us all.
Right.
He does not look at that as a bad thing, calling his team the Redskins. He wasn't sneaking one, through.
And neither did the Sambo people.
It was the Redskins forever, and no one ever had a real issue with it until recently for whatever reason, because of the stupid culture we live in.
But dude, do you understand my stance? I'm not asking for them to be penalized, and that's why if the NFL and professional sports, like that guy, I know he was an Eagle, but at the Kenny Chesney concert when he said, "I'm going to fight a nigger," it was a stupid thing to say. But the way football reacted, sensitivity training, oh my God.
Yeah, they lose their minds.
But do you see how they react? They're not fair about it, and that's what fucking annoys me so much.
Which I understand that, but it still doesn't make much sense, though, Jimmy, because...
How does it not make sense when I'm not asking for them to be penalized?
Yeah, it's apples and oranges.
Because they will be penalized if they change their name financially, yes or no?
I don't think they'll be penalized financially,
Jimmy's not asking for that.
And I'm not asking for a financial penalty. I didn't say people to hold on, dude.
There will be an adverse.
I don't say that I'm above ever being offended by something, or that I don't like certain things. There's certain things people have said that offended me, but I don't want them to get in trouble for it. I don't want them to be forced to act a certain way. I want the Redskins to change their name, but I have not once said that people should boycott them until they do.
And that is the same thing as people clamoring for a woman to get fired. And sending her death threats because she was offensive. Yeah, it's kind of different.
I'm not asking for a penalty. There's a huge difference, dude, in those things.
You can be offended. It's like somebody that says, "Oh, that fucking bitch that dressed up like the Boston Marathon bombing victim. Oh, that fucking bitch is an offensive twat. Fuck her."
Right.
But then you don't go on Twitter or your email and fire off letters to her boss or death threats to her family. You can be offended by it without trying to curtail her right to dress that way.
Yeah, I'm not offended by the costume.
So Jimmy, but Jimmy's saying he personally doesn't like the fact that the Redskins are named the Redskins based on what he has seen and thought. But he's not now starting a campaign to have them change their name.
I'm not trying to force them to do it.
That's the big difference.
Did you always hate the Redskins name, Jimmy?
I for years, I told you what changed me was when I saw people give this Indian group, I don't even know what group it was, years ago.
They went, hi, yeah, we no like 'em, name.
And then it rained on me, and I'm like, you know what? But no, it was, it might have been Donahue, or it was years ago.
It was years ago.
And they explained it, why they were bothered by it, and it made sense to me. And the thing is, like, with being politically correct, I hate political correctness so much. I've almost fallen into the same trap that PC people have, where just because something's PC, I'm like, fuck it stinks. And it's like, that's irrational, too. It's like, it doesn't mean that just because politically correct people think something, that I automatically, diametrically have to be opposed to it. This is just one of very, very, very few things I agree with them on.
Right.
And
I never once thought it was offensive.
Yeah.
Not a once.
But I get why, when I see the way they handle other groups.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. It's almost like if you were fired for saying black jokes. It's almost like when the networks won't allow a white guy to do black jokes, but they allow the black guy. Now, I don't want to see the black guy get in trouble, but it annoys me that he's being allowed to do something, and the other guy, or this group can't do it, or that group can't do it. They're selective. There's not a blanket policy of just being, hey, look, fair about it. It's meted out arbitrarily, this punishment or these scoldings, and that's why they annoy me. On whatever the outrage of the day is.
Right.
So how about you allow what is offensive to other cultures to somehow be a part of the NFL? And I will wear, believe me, I'm not personally violated by the Redskins name. Keep the fucking name. I'll wear a jersey, but have some fucking balls with other groups.
Well, the NFL's completely schizo anyway. They know their players are getting, brain injuries.
And they don't care.
They don't give a fuck. They paid him off recently, but that was a piece of cake for them.
So,
and then you got a guy that's quitting his team because of bullying in the NFL. Oof. This world we live in is crazy.
Bullying.
Does anyone know the story there?
The new outrage.
It just seems like there's more to the story than a guy that was on, what team does he play for? The Dolphins, right? Yeah. He plays for the Dolphins. He's been bullied to the point where he leaves the team, and he says he's not coming back.
What?
So what's the story there? Because that doesn't make sense to me.
Is he gay?
Is there gang shit involved here that we don't know about, or what? Is he associated with one gang, and there are guys on the team that are another gang? Because it just doesn't make sense that an NFL player would leave a team because he's been bullied.
Yeah.
Have I explained myself to you, sir, by the way?
Oh.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I agree with you on the fact of it just needs to be all around, the same treatment where people are picking and choosing.
Yeah, that's
the Redskins has had their name for frickin' umpteen how many years, and then now you're equating that to somebody saying nigger or this or that, but that's something that we've evolved and gotten better at. So I understand what you're saying, but to me it still seems a little wishy-washy where I'm going to pick this point because I don't like this, but this point I do like.
But what's wishy-washy? Hold on. What's washy about it when I'm not asking for anyone to be penalized? It doesn't mean, dude.
You're not speaking out against the press and the pressure and everything else. Also, though, so you're not doing nothing to stick up for their rights.
You don't have to do that.
I don't need to stick up for their right to do it. Of course, they have the right to do it.
Sure.
And I'm not going to tell other people not to protest it. I don't care if they do. But they do have the right to have that name. I have not said they don't. I haven't said they should be financially fucking penalized for it.
All right. Yeah, well, all right, man.
You know what I mean? It's like, just because I'm not a PC guy doesn't mean I don't have opinions on certain things. There are certain things I don't like or that are... I don't like certain things radical black guys say or radical Muslims. I don't want them to get in trouble for it.
All right. Thank you, Scott. There's so many people checking in. We got Brian in Canada. Brian.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey, I'm just wondering if you guys would have the same opinion if you knew somebody personally in the Boston bombing, like the victim.
Hard to say, dude. I mean, emotionally, I would have the same overall opinion, yes, because I know people that have committed suicide, and I'm all for suicide costumes. I know people that have died of strokes, and if someone had a Patrice stroke costume, that would offend me on a personal level. I wouldn't like it. But I wouldn't want that person to be fired for it. I wouldn't, but I would again be bothered by it and go, fuck that person.
Well, having Boston roots, that costume made me go,
Yeah, I didn't like it, but
I don't want her fired for it.
But yes, sir, I probably would have the same opinion, honestly.
But do you think like the guy that called in about the anti-Semite problem there, he's a Jewish. Wouldn't that be just as offensive as someone who knew somebody?
Yeah, you get somebody who knew, but it's not the majority of people. And of course, even if take it to the extreme, the person that knows the person that was injured is so offended by that they want them fired. Yes, they're being very emotional about it. I don't think the boss should put any credence in the fact that they're offended because they know somebody.
Wait, can I hold on? I want to go with your thought for a second and take it a little further. So you said if we knew someone that was in the Boston Marathon bombing, would we think differently? Okay. What about this? Where did this woman work? Do we know?
Boston. No, I have no idea.
All right. The question is simple. What if someone at her job was affected by the Boston Marathon bombing? Would that be a different situation?
I don't think so, no. I think it should be. Because she's not at work. If she goes to work with it, it's different. It's work conduct. Mm-hmm. But the reason I wouldn't be... Like I don't know anybody who was killed in 9/11. But that doesn't mean I wasn't affected by 9/11. I don't care about... I care greatly about 9/11. It fucking changed my life, and like it did so many other people. It made me so angry and hateful. But if you had a Twin Tower costume, I wouldn't want you fired for it.
But what if you went up as a suicide bomber? Would you want him fired?
What's that?
What if you went dressed as Halloween as a suicide bomber, 6 months later?
No, I would think it was tasteless, but I wouldn't want... Like there was some professor who was a real cunt afterwards, and he was talking about how, the people jumping out of the buildings were like little Eichmanns and all this stuff, and he was a scumbag. But I didn't want to see him fired. Emotionally, I think I did. But I knew that you have to have the right to say that.
And we sort of accept tasteless Halloween costumes because it's been going on our entire lives. You pick the big story and then you make a costume out of it.
Yeah, no, dude, I would not want them fired for that. Even though on an emotional level, I probably wouldn't like it.
So a lawyer's saying we're missing a point.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian. Let's say to Rob, say hi to Rob in Jersey. Rob.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Rob.
Hey there, Rob.
All right.
Here's my point. When we think of free speech in this country, we have this tendency to think of it in terms of some freestanding concept. It's not that. It's rooted in the Constitution, and the Constitution says the government can't limit our speech.
Yes.
But someone who is a business owner, or if I'm in my house and I have somebody over who's saying something that I don't like, I have every right to tell them to get lost.
Right.
Or if I'm a business owner, I have every right to say I'm not going to hire you.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I guess, let me ask you the question, though. If the spirit, even though I know legally I'm sure you're right, but if the spirit of free speech isn't that, how far does it go? Like, where you could, so let's say you stand up and you just say that you're now a communist or a member of the Communist Party, so you can just be fired for that? Or how about you agree with communism, or you agree, let's say you stand up and say you agree with Putin. You like Vladimir Putin's stance, and you like the way he handled Obama and backed him down a little bit. Can you be fired for that?
I think you can, and I'll tell you why. It's different from the caller who called earlier, and you asked them a pretty similar question about if, can I not hire a black person or a Muslim? Those things are protected by other rights. Being black or being Hispanic or things like that. Those are equal protection rights. Those are due process rights.
Okay, how about, all right, fair enough, you're right, I'm sure. How about something beyond that then? Let's say something that's not Muslim or black. Let's just say something that's more of a choice. Like, again, being communist or being, or say even just standing up and being very, very pro-gay and you're not gay. What if you're a member of a pro-gay organization? And that violates the morality of the person who is hiring you.
That's a bit of a stickier situation because those kinds of things, those rights are becoming more like ethnicity or race.
But isn't that a free speech? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the intent of free speech, and again, I know with the Constitution, and there are certain things I'm sure they didn't see coming, is not just to silence you because you're a member of a group or you believe in an ideology that offends your employer.
Well, I agree with you as to the concept. However, the problem with that is that it's the Constitution being designed to be a limit on government power. The answer to unpopular speech is supposed to be more speech, right?
Okay. I believe you. I don't know if that's true, but okay, that makes sense to me.
Well, no, I mean that's one of the things that I think it was Jefferson who said that. You know, the
said,
remedy
hey,
to,
gotta get some new rules pronto.
Right.
It will just be bogus too. That's what Jefferson said.
Okay,
we all know that.
I mean,
let's have some pizza.
When you're talking about that kind of stuff, it becomes a different situation. But frankly, you can do what you want in your personal life. And you can say what you want, but when it comes to affecting other people in their exercise of their rights, it becomes a stickier situation. Nothing about this stuff is black and white except the things on the edges.
Agreed.
Right.
We need cooler bosses is what we need. Bosses that could chill out a little bit.
Buckle under to all this bullshit fucking mob mentality.
I think we need cooler citizens because the bosses are reacting.
Right.
But they're reacting.
They're always douchebags.
But you know what I'm saying? It's the citizens that stink.
Right.
It's the regular people who stink because they're the ones complaining and crying and fighting and bitching and moaning and then not standing up or not defending.
I think they always
Jimmy, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe you're right legally, dude. I'm not talking from a legal point of view. Obviously, I'm not an attorney, and I'm not a constitutional expert. But then I just think that we should admit how full of shit we are as a nation when we say we value diversity in thought and we value diversity of opinion. And we protect it because we don't. And if that's how we are, then we should shut our fucking mouths about how other countries do business.
I hear what you're saying, but there's something to be said for the idea that
microphone and a phone.
Because we can't be perfect in everything, we can't be right in anything. I don't agree with that concept.
I know that, but it's a little more than not being perfect in anything. It's a consistent policy of talking out of both sides of our mouth as a society. Yeah, exactly. And then the middle has nothing coming out of it. It's a consistent, full of shit policy.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of it. We've been that way for a very long time, and we're no different now than we were 300 years ago. I mean, there are just, the laws are different. You can't be as obvious about it. But one group wants what they want and their rights, and another group wants what they want and their rights.
We're a bunch of tattletales.
A bunch of tattletales.
Tattletales.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that, as a nation, we need to fucking grow a set.
All right, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, lawyer.
Thank you.
All right. I want to get into the Dolphins player thing, because now I think they're suspending one of the players.
I wonder what the bullying was. That's a good question.
It's just who was bullying.
It's typical. This article, it's not just like high school stuff. It says Martin left Dolphins headquarters on Monday when finally reaching his limit with the persistent bullying and teasing from some teammates.
Teasing?
All right, what kind of bullying was this?
What was that about?
Were they giving him wedgies? Were they just calling him names?
Yeah.
The latest taunt, a group of players stood up and left when he tried joining them for lunch.
Does he smell?
So why is he being... What happened is he's saying bullying. The team doesn't like him, or he's being totally ostracized. Why?
Yeah.
Right.
What's the reason?
Yeah, there's something more to this story, obviously, because it doesn't make sense.
They're shunning him.
And I think they suspended incognito.
Oh.
I think they just suspended him indefinitely until they figure out what the hell's going on with this bullying shit. He's the main guy, right?
It's ridiculous. Bullying.
Is there anything else in that article?
It just says that it was reportedly the cruel actions of some teammates toward Martin went well beyond the customary hazing sometimes given to NFL rookies.
All right, examples. What are the examples?
The only example was
them getting up because they didn't want him eating lunch with them?
There's definitely something else.
That is high school cafeteria shit right there, by the way.
Yeah, that's not even adult.
Right.
Either he's gay or there's or something. I'm not saying the guy's gay, but there's something that he's being tormented on. Because when's the last time you heard of a football player? I mean, maybe he's just a sensitive guy, but
in the NFL, Jesus,
you don't give up an NFL career.
He blasts the worst gassers ever,
right?
And they don't want to sit with him at lunch because he smells.
This is crazy, though. He's leaving the team because he's being bullied.
Yeah,
in the NFL. If you know more about this, please hold on. Let's see if Corey knows.
Corey,
we know a little bit about sports.
Yes,
hopefully Corey knows more than us. What's up, Corey?
Hey, from what I heard, it was a financial thing. Like the veteran guys were planning a Vegas trip this summer, and all the rookies had to pitch in, and this Martin guy didn't even want to go, so they made him pay anyway. And I think he's making maybe the league minimum, which is $405,000, and he had to cough up $15,000 for that. So
wait, what's going on? Hold on, they're making the rookies pay for the veterans to go to Vegas?
Oh yeah. And then there was what
the fuck is that about?
It's probably like hold on, sir. One second. It's probably one of those old things. Like, remember in The Sopranos when the younger guys would have to take out Christopher had to take out Paulie?
Right. Yeah.
It's probably one of those things where the younger guys pay for the veterans, and that's probably a tradition. I mean, I'm guessing it's one.
Tribute or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But there was there was an Instagram picture of like a big meal that the rookies had to pay for the team meal or something, or the lineman's meal. And I think the bill was $300,000, and the rookies had to foot the bill.
Jesus.
And,
wait, $300,000 for a meal?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wait, no, dude, $300,000 for a meal is incorrect.
Yeah, that can't be right.
I'm telling you.
Where were they eating?
I don't know.
They did not eat a $300,000 meal.
How many guys, though?
Could do that.
Yeah, it could be for like the whole team, for God's sake.
The whole team couldn't eat $300,000.
That's not a $300,000 meal, sir.
Even if there's 300 people at the dinner, it's $1,000 each of food. I guess if you start getting into some of those wines, maybe. At the bottom of the page.
Maybe, the wines are adding up, but that doesn't make sense. That's a lot of money, sir.
All right, we'll check it out.
So it sounds like this guy doesn't want to play with the Dolphins tradition. So they're fucking making his life kind of hellish to the point where he's like, fuck this, and he left. Well, so fuck that guy.
Wow.
That's what I say. If they have a tradition in place.
Although, if you're making $400,000 and a bunch of guys are just being dicks and trying, like, I kind of get that too. Like, go fuck yourselves. Like, why am I going to pay for you?
Yeah. If it's some dumb tradition thing, what are you going to do?
If they've been doing it forever, and he's the first to say, no.
Suck it up.
Yeah, maybe.
He just leaves?
All right, maybe, who knows? Maybe
he just leaves?
Maybe he killed himself. Maybe he passed away.
Let me take one more. Kevin in Philly. Kevin.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey.
Just want to talk about this guy. The Dolphins actually mentioned him as a mental illness for why he missed the game on Sunday, and they're kind of like pushing it under the rug because, like the guy mentioned before, he had to pay $15K for a Vegas trip, and then the players weren't sitting with him at lunch, and they called him the big weirdo. This is like high school shit.
And he's fucking crying about that?
Yeah.
The big weirdo.
This one confuses me. Why would he pay? Why wouldn't he just deal and pay the $15,000 and realize his rookie year will be over soon enough?
Because he's a big weirdo.
Right.
This is his second year, and they said that it happened. HBO did Hard Knocks with this team last year.
Okay.
He was a rookie, and they said that during an episode of Hard Knocks, this guy, Incognito, was bullying him, and now this is his second year and hasn't stopped. But, football's football. This happens all the time. This guy just can't, take the heat. I don't know what's
So
wrong.
this shit should have stopped for him because it's his second year, I guess. But they just don't like him at this point because of the shit that went on last year.
But now the media take this, the whole
Oh my God! As we're talking about, all three news channels that we have on right now all had a headline. About it. It's a huge story. It's really ramping up.
Yeah.
Bullying in the NFL, that's just crazy to me.
Hilarious. Look at what they do.
He's not a popular teammate for whatever reason.
Okay,
He's
every
not
team
happy
has
with it.
those.
Right. So he's leaving.
It's just so strange how this is all, the media takes this, and the guy, Incognito, he's tweeting everybody like ESPN and ABC, because he wants to, clear his name because he just got suspended by the team.
Right.
He believes it's all slander.
Yeah, they suspended him until they get to the bottom of this. And, okay, we're learning that he's not a rookie anymore, so he must just be an asshole.
And let's see what this guy was doing to him, though. Like, just because, there's rookie hazing, as a team member and as a professional football player, the other guys, I'm sure, don't have the right to do certain things.
Right.
So who knows what this other guy would. This guy might have been doing really cocksucker things to him, too.
Incognito, that sounds like just high school bullshit.
Yeah, that does, what we just heard, sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We've done far worse over here at the Opie and Anthony organization.
Thought they gave him a peanut butter hat.
or Ben Gay on their balls.
If there's ever a thought this guy might be gay, oh my God.
I don't know if he is or not. I'm like, what could it be? I don't,
If it happens, though, it's going to be a huge story.
Oh, God, yeah.
Heads will roll.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. Let me go to Brandon in New Jersey. Brandon.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hey, man.
Hi.
So I'm a Dolphins fan, sadly, and I follow all the writers on Twitter, and a couple of things that came out were, the one thing I read was the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, came in last week when they were dressing up for Halloween with 5 Chiefs jerseys, and he said, you guys should dress up as a real offensive line. That was one of the pranks, apparently. Also, like, they move his car and stupid shit like that. But yeah, it sounds like he's just a big pussy to me.
Maybe, okay.
It doesn't. It sounds like it's some annoying shit he's got to deal with, but nothing out of the ordinary. Right.
And I agree with Jimmy. I actually think that it's possible that he's gay, and I think that might be a bigger story to this because something just doesn't make sense.
Something is weird here. But don't they have tolerance for the gay now in sports?
A lot of those guys don't. Man. A lot of those guys don't.
They all know they got the gay around them. Come on.
Don't
Even Charles Barkley said that when that player finally came out. He's like, you have to be crazy to think you're not playing with gay players.
A lot of black guys in professional sports, and black guys do not too hip on the gay guys.
The gay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of professional athletes are uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, well, we're in close proximity and the guy's naked in the shower.
Yeah, your dick is in his ass. You don't want to feel gay.
Yeah, instead of feeling lucky that you're a healthy man and you're being looked at.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so
problem.
Those guys don't care.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, right.
The football player reminds me of Black Earl. David in Tennessee writes.
Oh, right.
Good old
yeah.
Black Earl. I got Earl.
Don't bully me.
Earl is just stupid.
Well, yeah.
Yesterday I'm watching the Jets. Well, I had to watch them through the red zone because I was down in Philly all weekend.
All right, yeah.
And they beat New Orleans. Pretty big win for the Jets. They're now 5-4. So to rub it in a little bit on my Twitter, I wrote, hey, does anyone know the score of the Jets? And then I wrote, and then just to really kind of make it like obvious what I was doing there. I was trying to make it hurt for the Saints fans. I had a little smiley face. Like, does anyone know the score? So now they have to like, fuck the Jets. You know, Jets won. Earl actually gave me a real answer.
Here's the score.
He gave me a real answer. And a few other people, but in general, people got it.
Yeah,
they're like, fuck you. That's what I was going for. That reaction. Fuck you. But Earl, well, actually, the score was...
Give you a synopsis of the game.
Yeah.
Now, is there a racial difference between these two? I know Richie Incognito's white, but is the other guy black?
Yeah.
Let's see
something.
I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Let's see if it's anything cultural. I don't know if it is or not, but let's see.
It seems like it's real basic shit. And then, you know, they just don't like him personally at this point. And they're not going to let it go. That's what I say.
Harassment and player misconduct.
He's a baby. Stick his head in gravy.
Yeah, you put it in something.
Yeah, bubblegum.
Oh.
That's him. Yep.
Maybe he's just a moron.
He looks kind of stupid.
But this is the thing. Why would they suspend a guy? The NFL is babies, but they're used to a certain amount of this shit. What do you have to do to get suspended? Getting up in the lunchroom is not enough.
Because the headline says bullying. That word is pretty much taboo nowadays.
That's what it is.
They got to, you know, nip it in the bud.
Nah, but there's something else.
The dinner was $30,000, by the way. Everyone said.
Oh, okay, $30,000.
That's a little different.
That's a big difference.
300.
And look, they shaved his head goofy. It's gonna happen, right?
Looks hilarious.
Sometimes these guys, I know baseball teams, they make them dress as girls and shit. Just pain in the ass crap, but you get through it, right? And you move on.
Right.
I did a thing or two when I was pledging a fraternity, but you move on.
Jesus Christ. You block it out of your memory and move on.
And then you get to do the same shit to the new guys.
For the newbies.
Incognito was voted second dirtiest player in the NFL from a player poll in the Sporting News before the 2-12 season.
Yeah.
So maybe the guy's just a dick.
What does he do?
His position? What is his position? I probably should.
Who has anger issues?
I mean, like, what mean things does he do out there on the field?
They didn't say. This article didn't say.
Yeah. Doesn't shower or brush his teeth before games.
Is that it? It's very offensive.
Annoying. Eric in New York, what's up?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, just wanted to add in that Incognito has been a noted piece of shit for a very, very long time.
Okay.
Yeah, but it seems like he rallied some of the other guys to kind of see it his way.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely a leader in all this. There's just an article came out just this past week that he's getting over these anger issues, but it doesn't seem like that's the case at all.
Like Chris Brown.
All right.
Getting over those anger issues.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, sure.
He's cured.
Oh, is he?
My mother loves him.
Oof,
Chip, but that guy works out a lot, you could tell.
Just right up her alley.
Yeah, she
literally
said, boy, that Rihanna really blew it.
Yeah, by what? Getting punched by him?
She said after that argument that Rihanna should have kept her mouth shut and just leaned over and taken care of her man.
Oh, God.
That's what my mother said.
She sounds like a good woman.
She's a wonderful woman.
All right.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM.
You got a party game or something there?
I do, yeah. It's a game I created to play at parties.
Well, that's a party game.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
It's called Words Back.
Words Back?
Yeah. How many people did I say, Sam? Because you get a bunch of people.
There's 10 teams of 4.
10 teams of 4.
That sounds ridiculous.
And how many games did they? How many guesses
that's
did
at a party?
Everybody stands in a circle. There's 10 teams of 4. Everyone gets 20 guesses.
Okay, 10 teams of 4.
Jesus Christ, it's take forever.
You have to guess the word. It's called Words Back. You have to guess what the word is. Want to play some ball base?
Baseball?
Oh, you must have looked at the paper.
10 teams of 4 people?
And they each get 20 guesses.
And they each get 20 guesses.
Hey, who likes ball basket?
Basketball?
You told them.
No, I didn't know.
This game is kind of awful.
It's Words Back.
Words Back. Backwards. Oh, the play on words.
Wow.
You want to book a read? Go ahead, take your time. I'll just sit here with my feet up.
I got 20 guesses?
Yeah. So is everybody on your team.
Now, you would need at least 40 people to play this at a party?
That's easy at my parties.
Oh, really?
Play some words back.
40 people, 20 guesses.
If you need help from your partners, you shout, pass, play, pass, play, pass, play.
You got to shout, pass, play, pass, play, pass.
Chip was texting Sam on New Year's Eve.
No, on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. This is what you have to deal with?
I was having dinner with my family, and Chip kept sending me different words packs.
Pass, play, pass, play, pass, play.
Oh, is that what you have to yell? I forgot about that.
Jesus.
Pass, play, pass, play, pass, play.
Because I tried to go with them, and I said, then the loser gets covered in green paint because they're envy with green.
Oh, green with envy.
No, Chip responded, I don't know what you mean. Pass, play, pass, play, pass, play.
That's great.
Game is so stupid.
Gary Busey's a different kind of man. That's me. I'm surrounded by angels. Those angels are giving me information to say. They go home after shampooing somebody's puppy, but they didn't know it. And they were gold, white light, and they were moving like they were breathing. And out of that light came an androgynous voice that spoke to me in thought. It said, "You're in a beautiful place. You are going in the right direction. You may come with us now, or you can return to your body and learn how to kill lions with a short spear. But for the responsibility you have coming up in you, you must look for help in the spiritual realm." And I'm recording a CD with some of Buddy Holly's songs no one's heard before. It's wasted time, it's wasted effort to write something that doesn't have to be righted because it's already right. Nothing is difficult for this cowboy.
Hey, I'm high and I'm dry. I'm looking for some bozo to put me in the water.
Boom, 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 boom. That is the intergalactic communication value. Oh yeah, I was only about a foot long and a quarter of an inch wide. And that's the size of your soul. And your soul is housed in the column of your spine. It's like explaining an orgasm to a 10-year-old. So be careful when you come at me growling. I'll get you. And you will be floating on air. And the word float, F-L-O-A-T, stands for feeling light on air today. It's your choice. Oh, I'm right on the money with my truth. That's what you get when you buy that dinner. Figure it out. It'll come to you later.
The Opie and Anthony Show is back. Go on, sit down. The celebrities are ready to entertain you some more.
Now the shit's about to kick off, this party looks whack. Let's take it back to straight hip-hop and start it from scratch. I'm about to bloody this jack up, everybody get back. That's why my pen needs a pad, cause my rhyme's on a red tag. Just like I did with addiction, I'm about to like a magician, critics I turn up. Got them still on the fence, whether the but quick to get impaled when I tell them I'm sick from looking pale, well that's my about to go ahead. Yeah, bitch, shout out to let's bring it back to that vintage slim bit. The order NC in mixed with the Vinci and MC ring. And I don't mean Stimpy Spring bit. Been public enemy since you thought PE was Jim bit. Shoes off, let your head out. All night long. Throw your beard out.
What's the house party lyric? Something about a house party until they knock the house down or something.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why can't people just go and have fun?
Because they're fucking wilding out.
What's the lyric? Something about a house party until we knock this thing down.
Knock the house down.
Why would you want to do that?
Because you're fucking going crazy.
Someone's nice enough to have a house party, then what, you have to party until the whole house comes down?
I would have been angry if my house came
exactly.
down on Friday. That's
Troy and me were trying to knock your house down. We were partying hard.
I saw that. I hear Eminem today.
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah, he's coming up here tonight for a town hall.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
7 o'clock. First time in what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Is he gonna?
least?
Is he gonna?
Who kid got to pre-tape a phone interview with him for his show on Saturday?
That's it.
He's finally coming by to get his money.
Yeah. He's coming up collecting his check.
Collect that check and get the fuck out.
Right.
Who's interviewing him? Sway.
Sway, yes, that'll do well, man.
I think it's going to air tomorrow because his album comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wish I could. I wanted to come and meet him, but I won't be here.
Yeah.
You want to meet Eminem?
Oh yeah,
that'd be a big one to meet.
I like him. Yeah, he's a big Florentine fan too.
Yeah, because
he
of the
loves
Crank Yankers.
Florentine.
I bet this is one of those situations where no one gets near Eminem.
Well, everybody who goes to the town hall gets to take a photo with him.
Well, what does that mean for the people around here?
Yeah, no one else will be able to see him.
Right, so it's like...
They'll have all those walls set up like they did for Oprah.
You think Denny Falcone will go over there and be like, hey, let's get a picture, Em?
He's a big Denny fan.
Yeah, he's a big Denny fan.
It's happening tonight, so they'll probably like make everybody leave work on time tonight. Clear the building
Get
out.
the fuck out.
Tonight, what time?
7.
Yeah.
7?
No. You know what? I noticed something. I might be speaking out of school here.
All right, well.
It's just something that has
My
been on my
bulge?
mind. Yes. Your bulge. Sam, of course, was at my big shindig.
Oh, no.
With the lovely Jess, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
He took his lovely, way out of his league wife with him.
Yes.
Finally let her out of the house, I guess.
Yeah.
Or something. The three of us, we were going downstairs when you first arrived, right? And I said, let's go down for get a beverage. And I turned around. I was acknowledging Sam, but I didn't say that. I just said, don't worry, there's some non-alcoholic beverages. Jess went, and patted her belly.
Oh, no, she's not pregnant.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. Maybe she was thirsty, but she's not pregnant.
Or maybe...
Wow, and you want the big scoop.
I would give it...
You're blowing up her spot.
Who wouldn't?
These women, they're careful when they let the world know. You got to be careful with that shit.
I'm sick of it. Fucking, yeah. Goddamn, Nicole, she was crowning before she told anybody that she's pregnant.
Well, Bob Kelly didn't want to either. You just don't want to jinx it. And if, like...
Dude, my kid was coming out of my wife when I finally told you guys.
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it.
The second one especially, I'm like, oh, by the way, I'm having a kid in 2 months. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Women are very, particular when they tell.
Yeah, because the kid doesn't make it. They don't want to have to explain to everybody.
Jesus.
It's private. You know?
I just don't want anybody saying I didn't, say that or see that. But, okay.
The Nicole was obvious, though.
What?
We just got to look around a little more.
I was just looking at her feet every time she goes by.
It was pretty obvious. Things. Not her body changing. It was just the glow on her face.
The glow. What?
It looked like she was.
I thought she was just doing coke.
No, that's what I noticed. That she was a bit on the sober side for a long period of time.
Yeah,
you got to pick up on the little clues around you.
Right. She hadn't been soused.
No, and she didn't say fuck you as she's walking through the halls and stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
she was pleasant.
It's working for her because she's not coming in hungover.
Right.
She's not destroying her body.
Right. She didn't give us the finger going by the glass, all that fun stuff we get to enjoy with her.
Did you hear what Dennis said to her after she announced she was pregnant on the air?
What?
Horrible.
He said the minute that she got off the air, he said, congratulations, a lot of people don't like to announce their pregnancies on the air. I had a coworker of mine who I told him not to announce that his wife was pregnant on the air, but he did, and the baby was fine, but then he did it again, and his second baby was stillborn.
Right after
he
she
did
announced
not say this.
Yes. I swear to God.
So
he did.
Immediately after.
So that means he's on the spectrum.
He's got to be.
He's on the spectrum, we call it.
And then he came in on the after show.
You gotta be careful. You just say he's on the spectrum.
He came in on the after show and said, "Oh no, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just telling a story. I was just saying that's just some advice."
You don't mention that to somebody.
Yeah,
pregnant.
No.
It does, all right, you didn't mean anything by it, but it just shows you're stupid.
You don't even say that word to a pregnant woman.
No.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think Daddy does a good job on the show.
You do?
He does real quality radio broadcasting.
He gets a little out of hand.
Denny does.
I don't think he's got all those feelers out there, feeling what people shouldn't say, shouldn't hear, things like that.
He's a boob.
He's a boob.
His social graces are out of whack.
A little out of whack, yeah.
Because he might be on the spectrum.
Yeah.
He better come in here and defend himself now. I got to know if he's on the spectrum.
I do feel bad I didn't invite him to the party, though.
But you said you invite everybody.
I do.
You did say
but
that.
But apparently he needs a personal invitation.
Well, he's on the spectrum. It's not. He doesn't really pick up on social cues.
Well, we don't know if he's officially on the spectrum.
What does that mean on the spectrum?
It might be a little,
Is he slow?
No, just tough with social cues.
Right.
I think that's how they judge autism. by a spectrum, right?
Yeah, because there's many parts of the spectrum.
Right.
And the spectrum has been broadened recently,
Sure,
by the way.
Sure.
It's a wider spectrum than it used to be.
Yeah, but there are people who aren't good at social cues and social graces.
Oh, he's definitely on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We already know.
Yeah.
We already know Kenny's on the spectrum. We've accepted that years ago.
That's right. I was best friends with intern David.
Right.
Yeah. I understand him.
Yeah. So the Biebs.
Wow.
This Biebs kid.
I know that place, by the way.
Where he was?
Yep.
Were you there?
I don't know if we went to that one or there was another one. That one we might not.
Hoa House.
Yeah, I forget. They're called a Termis or whatever. And there was the Monte Carlo is where we went. I don't think I went to the other one. I might have went to it once.
Well, the Biebs was down there in Rio, and he might have. He definitely went to one of those brothels.
Getting hookers.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Who cares at
Exactly.
this point?
But it's the Biebs, and it's almost like he did it on purpose to show that he's a bad boy. And so you see the latest picture of him shirtless because he has to be shirtless all the time now. Now it looks like he's on steroids. He's trying to pump up his body.
Yeah.
He's just trying so hard to change his image.
He's becoming a man. I don't like it. I like the young Bieber.
That's.
But he's tried like 10 different things. Miley, it was one thing, and she changed her image.
She did it.
Yeah, but
she did it really easily. And this guy's like, all right, maybe if I get caught with a firearm, or maybe if I get caught smoking pot, or maybe if I have my guy carry me, up the wall in China there.
I could piss in this bucket.
Or maybe if I get caught coming out of a brothel, like
it's all half-ass shit.
Thank you. Yes.
And why not just stroll out of the brothel with your head up high?
Going, that's right, motherfuckers.
They got a sheet around. It just all looks stupid.
Yeah, who else would be under a sheet?
Yeah.
Or maybe he didn't want to get caught.
Yeah, well,
in the brothel.
But who
someone
cares?
random.
Like, who cares, though?
I like that. He just quality radio.
Hold on, but yeah, it makes a good. Sorry, I didn't. But you do make a good point.
Yeah,
I mean, you come out in a sheet. Obviously, it's someone really famous. So if there's a rumor you're in there, wouldn't you just stay in there forever?
Forever.
That's not exactly.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Wait till the heat dies down.
Make sure the sheet covers your shitty wrist tattoos.
I know.
Or figure out a better way to get out of the place.
It's so obvious that it's him, and I don't know.
It seems like he's just going for something that's not really working.
I think he's trying to play both sides of the fence here. He's got that still teen idol following that he's got,
right?
And he doesn't want to blow that off. Like Miley, it was easy for her to blow that off and go where she went because she's got just as many fans in the sort of young adult segment than she did when she was what's her name, Hannah Montana. But Bieber, he doesn't have any real adult fans.
No.
So he can't blow off his little kiddie thing, but he doesn't want to be that guy anymore. He wants to be the tough guy. So he's playing both sides of the fence, and he's coming off half-assed on both.
And he has a huge fan base, and he can't have sex with any of them because he would be thrown in jail. So now he's
exactly.
He finally had to get some of that poison out.
He had to get some of that big Brazilian ass.
Yeah, like he was talented for a kid. Like he was like, oh, that is talented for a kid, and then it was like, oh, he's
a prodigy.
But he's still selling.
Not like he was. I mean,
he's still selling though.
He's on the decline in a major
and
way.
he's not number one on Twitter anymore.
Nope.
No.
He was finally overtaken by.
I'm going to go Katy Perry.
Lady Gaga.
Opie's right with Katy Perry.
Oh, wow, she's more than Lady Gaga, huh?
You're going to hear him roar.
Look at those.
She's like 36 million people.
It's the titties.
Oh, here you go.
46.
From here. That story moments away.
Oh, look at us. We're hitting these stories right before the news does.
Oh, do tell.
We're good like that.
Dennis Falcone, it's very easy. We don't need a long, drawn-out appearance from you today.
Denny, what about your insensitive remarks to Nicole?
Right.
We already covered that on the after show.
Well, that's the after show.
Now is the after show. This is the main show.
Let's do it for an audience.
No, first of all, it wasn't. First of all, it wasn't insensitive.
What?
Oh, it was completely insensitive.
It was
a woman that's
would
pregnant doesn't want to hear anything about stillborn.
No,
she doesn't want to hear the word stillborn. She doesn't hear the word miscarriage. She doesn't want to hear the word crib death.
She doesn't want to hear the word.
There are certain things you just never say.
Doesn't want to hear the retarded.
Right.
Any of that shit.
Yeah, she doesn't want to hear that baby's a mongrel. She doesn't want to hear things like chip of love doesn't matter what color people are.
We didn't say anything like that.
You
I just
did.
said from a programming standpoint. I worked at a radio station once, and a disc jockey's wife was pregnant. He said, I can't wait to go on the air and talk about it. I said, no, you can't. He goes, why not? I said, well, you just can't. I go, what if there's complications? What if there's a problem? And you're saying, hey, good times and great oldies. And by the way, my wife lost the baby. So I just told Nicole, it's better not to have said anything than just all of a sudden, where's Nicole? She comes back and I've got a new member of the family.
And he said this to her immediately after she had just said something on the air.
And it's that dumb advice that it's too late because you already did it anyway.
Right.
So who are you helping? You're only hurting her.
It was conversational. It wasn't.
It was immediately after she got
But
off.
it's also bad radio to not be truthful with your audience.
100%.
Well, that's. It's a different type of radio.
Yeah, it's terrible radio.
But what were you trying to
liar,
accomplish? Because
pants
you
on
already
fire.
told her audience that she was pregnant.
It was just conversational and passing.
I meant to tell her, don't do it again.
But I did offer to I offered to be the DJ for her christening celebration.
Well, that's if
she
the
told
kid
me-
makes it,
But
obviously.
Dennis, you think it's acceptable to have that casual conversation with a woman that's pregnant?
We were just speaking.
Because there's so many things that could still happen with a
you
pregnancy.
just never bring
gentlemen
any
talk about
bad
reality.
things up.
It was just reality.
No, you don't bring any of that up.
No.
Because she's not going to walk away from that conversation with the thought like, wow, maybe I shouldn't say it on the air. Like the radio portion of it that was so important to you when you conveyed the story is not what she walked away with. She walked away from that conversation with
horrified.
Oh my God.
Right.
No.
There are things
Oh
out
my
there.
God,
There are
yes.
horrible things out there that could happen to a child.
Here's what you said to her. You know, you might not have wanted to announce that because the kid might not live. And that would be a bummer to have to tell your audience.
Right.
That's in an ugly way of paraphrasing the message you gave her. It is that exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think so. That again is strictly an opinion.
But how could it
strictly get the women on the phone?
How could it be different?
The four that listen to us.
How could it be different, the opinion? You said to her, you gave the example because you wanted Nicole to relate to the example, and you basically said, you shouldn't have announced that because if the kid doesn't make it, you'll have to give a sad
I didn't
announcement.
say you should not have announced that.
Why
I
would
didn't
you
say that? We were talking about it in passing. I said, I worked at a radio station where.
So why
they
would you
told
bring
not
that
to say
example up if you weren't relating it to her?
You don't say that to pregnant women ever. Maybe, this kid, she has this kid and then she's not pregnant anymore. You want to have that small talk because he considers it just a little small talk.
Just some light
Friday
conversation.
Absolutely not when they're pregnant.
And
so much shit could go wrong still, right up until the birth of the damn thing.
God.
And that story directly relates to her. You're telling a story of somebody who announced it on the air right after she just announced hers on the air.
Oh, Jenny.
Of course you are.
It's the direct correlation to this is you and what could happen.
You just never mention those horrible things.
If you just mention that for no reason, that's one thing. But she said she was pregnant, and you were saying why you advised someone not to say they were pregnant, which is your way of saying you probably shouldn't have said that because of this. And then you're on Hits 1, you'll have to make a sad announcement. That was the same thing.
Right.
Grim Reaper over there.
Okay, if you look at it that way, then
there's no other way to look at it. Well, how do you look at it that way?
I don't think I did anything wrong.
He's missing some social cues.
Oh, really?
Spectrum.
Are you on the spectrum?
No.
Okay.
No. Just thought I'd just mention it
If
to her
the
in
spectrum
passing.
is the radio dial.
Oh, that's
wow.
There you
Hey,
go.
could I give a shout out to some folks, big fans of yours who I did a wedding for this past week?
What do they make?
please.
They must. Okay, where did you meet them? Was it at the child's funeral?
No. They heard me on the show here, and they love you guys.
Oh,
they
nice.
love you guys, and Valerie, and Jude is his name.
Oh.
And I was able to play both songs too.
Valerie by the Monkees.
Although before you announce their names fully, I always say don't announce names because 60% of marriages end in divorce.
Did you say that? Did you say that when you was playing?
No.
Hey Jude.
No, I had everybody sing.
That would have been some
we had
casual
everybody sing along.
conversation.
Yeah.
No, just he might not have announced it on the air. Some people don't announce that they're getting married on the air.
Well, you just did.
Well, no.
No, they wanted me to. They said, "Hey, make sure you give us a nice shout out."
There's not a
Like
divorce.
me and Ope when we were at AAF in our late 20s. I never mentioned that I was married for quite some time. I didn't, because we want to be the cool young hip DJs
Swinging Bobby
that were
Bones, man
out
about town.
there
Right.
partying
Exactly.
and maybe picking up a lady or two if.
Well,
what else are you going to do in your late 20s?
Exactly.
I want Denny to deal with some bitches.
Uh-oh.
Jessica, Jersey, what's up?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Hi, Jess.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, Denny, you're really not supposed to announce that sort of thing. I can tell you from experience. I got pregnant very quickly when my husband and I decided to have children, and he was
premature ejaculator. That's very quickly. See, he came real.
Yeah.
He was super excited. He told everybody, and then there was something wrong, and I had to have a DNC. So then we had to tell everybody that there
What's a
was
DNC?
That's not good.
It's like an abortion.
That's when they get in there and
they suck him out.
Oh, okay.
Scrape it out, the whole,
scrape
the whole
away.
thing.
What's it stand for, though? What does it mean?
Dilation and quarterage.
Oh, okay, I've never heard that. All right.
Yeah, women just, you just say congratulations. That's it.
Yeah, good luck. Hope
No
everything's okay.
conversations whatsoever.
You're supposed to let the woman make the announcement. You know what I mean? You don't say horrible things like, oh, if the baby's got,
I like going to
bed or
D&B.
stuff like that.
Well, hold on, but if you were pregnant and you had that small talk like Denny did with Nicole, would you be okay with that? Where he's relating a story of a guy he knew that had a stillborn? He thinks it's acceptable, and we're the shock jocks.
He said stillborn.
Shocking.
Right.
I probably would have gave him a polite smile and then told my husband what a piece of shit this guy was.
Oh man. I bet that's what Nicole did.
Yeah, what you should have done is say, you might not want to commit to a color in the bedroom until you know if the baby lives, because you may have to spend that money on a coffin.
Oh, God.
All right.
It's along the same lines of thinking.
It is, of course it is.
No, again, there's two sides to every story.
Yes, we've heard your side.
Yeah.
I just learned something about Dennis.
He doesn't like to be wrong.
No. It was
You
not
just
meant
don't
to,
see this.
No. I love Nicole. It wasn't meant to hurt her.
No,
She's
thought it was
pregnant
meant
and
to
you're
hurt
talking
her.
about stillborn.
We don't think it was meant to hurt her.
No,
it wasn't
of course not.
malicious. It
I
was
was just
dumb.
talking from a radio standpoint.
But you won't take responsibility for the fact that you unintentionally did that.
Talking from a radio standpoint.
Unintentionally, if you're looking at it that way, yes. But
no, but you keep saying if you're looking, there's no other way to look at it.
But he's saying it was from a radio standpoint. But
right, Sam.
in Nicole's eyes, it was real.
Okay,
From a radio standpoint, you don't have the conversation, period. You don't bring up these things when you see a pregnant girl.
Well, that's true.
We all think it, but we don't
think
say
you had
shit.
any malice.
No malice.
I don't think you meant to do that. I just think that how you are, you assume that this was a wonderful story to tell her. When meanwhile, and I don't know if you see it right now, it was a terrible thing to say.
No, like, for instance, say if Sam said, hey, he came in and he said, hey, my wife is pregnant.
We'd say, who's this? That's what a real man.
Right. And I would just jokingly say, I would tell him, hey, look, make sure you don't talk about it in the air, because I worked at a radio station.
But she already said it on the air, so you're not even helping her. You're just putting the thought of stillborn in her head.
It's just a radio war story.
War story
DJ
that
war story.
ends with a dead child.
Yeah. Jessica, thank you. Let's go to Rachel. Rachel.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, Rach.
So another thing you also don't mention to a pregnant woman is, gee, how are you going to lose all that baby weight you put on?
Right.
Oh.
I had a friend who got big and fat after she got
big
big
and fat. The husband wound up leaving her because she was so big and fat.
And the baby died, so she really lost on all fronts.
And now fat bottom girls. Right here on
Queen.
It's Queen.
No.
But if you look at it that way.
No.
If
two sides to every story.
Right. There's not in this case.
A little water cooler chat for you.
Yeah, we understand that, but the two sides of this. You said something to her and you explained why you said it. Nobody thinks it was done with malice. Nobody thinks it was evil.
No, I don't think it was done with malice.
But it was absolutely dumb.
Make sure when you bathe the children early on, you have somebody in there with you, because postpartum depression, some mothers drown their children.
Well, I tell
have
you
a good
what,
day.
I will never relay that story again to any pregnant.
I
learned something today here on the Opie and Anthony show. I did.
That's what we aim to do.
You should make sure you tell Sway, don't mention that you're black, because there's been racial lynchings in the country. And or go to OutQ and tell them about all the gay bashing. They shouldn't mention that they're gay.
You guys hear about a young man named Matthew Shepard?
Yes, he was a gay man who was beaten to death for his gayness.
And it's even worse that it's a radio
guys,
story.
knock him dead in there.
Yeah, I've learned something here in Nicevember. Okay?
Oh,
Nicevember.
Yeah, we're doing nice things here in November for people. Nicevember.
What have you learned?
I will not say that again to a pregnant woman, because it only upsets you guys.
Just to make sure
he still makes it look like it's irrational on our part. Instead of just admitting, he can't admit that he's wrong.
No.
He can't admit that he's
I
wrong.
was just relaying a story.
We understand that.
Just relaying a story.
I know, but
I was just
failed miserably.
I talked to Jess to make sure I wasn't being oversensitive or just picking on you. She was horrified.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That you said that.
Everyone's telling you the same thing.
Of course.
And you're making it look like it's our hang-up.
No, it's not a hang-up.
You said you wouldn't do it again because it upsets us.
No.
Not because it's
okay,
a bad thing to do.
Okay, do you want me to admit I was wrong?
Oh, wow.
I was wrong. No, I do mean it. Of course I do. No, I do. Because, you know what, maybe,
he doesn't mean
but maybe I didn't think of the repercussions of it. Yeah,
well, yeah.
There you go.
But I will
women are very
I
sensitive
did offer
when
her
they're
my services for a christening party, but then she told me she
hanger.
was Jewish and she doesn't have christening parties, so...
She has no desire to be around you.
Yeah, no, after that, I mean...
But it's going to be a girl, right?
Yes.
Oh, so no bris.
No bris.
Or anything.
Good, I wouldn't go anyway.
Yeah.
I'll never go to the bris.
No, you don't like that?
Horrifying, right?
Yeah.
Did you have shaky moil?
Yeah, it was fucking...
Was he shaky?
He was okay, and I understand why people do it. I'm not knocking people who've done it. I was, you know, I just would never... I don't
The
think
screaming.
Just
Guttural.
Me. Dude, it's guttural. Guttural screaming.
Guttural screaming from a baby is brutal.
Barbaric.
Oh, man.
It's fucking brutal. Why do they do that?
I guess because God cares what your cock looks like.
Exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
Is so weird.
Religious people are just dopes. God cares about your dickhead.
Fucking weird.
He cares about what kind of food you eat. He doesn't want you to eat fish on a Friday, and he cares what your cockhead looks like. Wow, the Creator has a lot of things on his mind when he's building wormholes and black holes. Sure, 100 billion galaxies, but what does your cock look like? Bunch of fucking idiots people are. Nation of idiots. Planet of idiots.
They're just all so stupid.
If Earth was alone with just this solar system, I would put a lot of stock in it. I really would. Because God has time.
Right.
There's nothing happening on Neptune. It's a shit pile.
Exactly.
The fucking Venus is a hot box.
There's nothing going on.
Smells like someone's asshole. But there's 100 billion galaxies. Yeah. And then there's little micro things that are a billionth of a fraction of an inch. And God has all of that to worry about.
Cockheads.
But he says, look, did the rabbi bless that hot dog? Don't eat that.
Right, don't eat it.
That guy didn't talk over it.
I'm watching.
Oh, foolishness.
It's unbelievable.
That's foolishness.
This is hate speech, by the way, Jimmy. I'm very offended by it.
Oh,
I'm going to try to get you fired.
It's worse than that stillborn stuff.
So we're good here?
That's true. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
Hey, by the way, Jimmy, I was thinking of you on Saturday when I brought the...
Why? Because a comedian killed himself?
When I introduced the bride and groom, they walked into Crazy Train. How cool was that?
Oh, wow.
Cool, but
must have made your
they probably
night.
shouldn't have, though, because Randy Rhoads did die in a car crash.
That's true.
I said, ladies and gentlemen, the reason we're all here, and then you hit the Aussie
Crazy Train. And be careful at those crossings. Five teens died in a van going over one of these railroad crossings.
Nice people.
Oh, man.
Bieber got hit by a bottle. That's the latest on it.
Quite a bottle at Justin Bieber, knocking the microphone out of his hand. So the pop star walks off the stage, but he never came back. Then, after 30 minutes, the singer's entourage began packing up his equipment. He kicked off the Brazil leg of his Believe tour. He was also 20 minutes late starting the show, and he was more than 3 hours late to a fan meet and greet.
3 hours.
That sounds like our crew around here. You know, they get upset, start packing stuff up, and walk off.
What an asshole.
Yeah, they're fiery.
Our guys are the best.
He's trying to be a tough guy by doing all the wrong things. Like, because he's not a tough guy, but he'll do, like, not showing up for show, leaving a show, showing up late for fucking meet and greets. Like, all the things these rock and roll wild tough guys do.
Axl.
Yeah, without being the tough guy.
3 hours
Axl did all that shit.
What an asshole. Punch him in the face when he finally shows up.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
We got a question about the 60s channel. Thank God you're still in studio. Go ahead, Rick.
Hey, guys. Denny, I wanted to ask you how you felt about something I heard on the 60s channel yesterday. So I took my mom out somewhere, and I wanted to put on some music that she would enjoy. And a buddy that I'm sure you're good friends with, what is it, Flash Phelps?
Okay.
A DJ on the 60s channel who, by the way, spells Flash with a PH because it's so cool.
Yeah, he's zany. He's zany that way.
So in between songs, he comes on to say his little spiel, and he announces the next song by saying, "Here comes Tommy James and the Shondell with Moni to the second power."
With what?
Moni to the second power. Is it a Moni?
Moni.
Okay.
That was just the douchiest thing I've ever heard. I wanted to see what you thought about it.
Okay, that was Flash's way of being zany.
Instead of saying Moni, he said Moni to the second power.
Look, there's only 6 million times. You're going to play that song 6 million times. So to say,
the question is, do you find that as douchey as the caller does?
I guess the caller was pretty upset by that. But you know what? I bet you his mom probably said, "Oh, yeah." She smiled.
It's supposed to sound like old '60s radio, which was very hokey.
But his mother got stuck to the seat when she heard that.
Oh yeah.
What did Mom say?
My mom actually cringed when he said that.
Oh.
All right. Well,
you say creamed?
I won't ever say that. I promise you.
All right, Daddy.
When I introduce
Flash Phelps.
But thank you again for the time. I appreciate it.
So no Moni to the second power, no stillborn.
No, I wasn't. I won't do it.
We understood?
Again. I did learn something today.
Okay, good.
I did learn something, and I do beg of your forgiveness.
Oh, me too. We honestly really don't care.
No.
But we figured we'd make a break of it.
Sure. Hopefully you find peace.
Monday would also be a song.
Monday.
To the second power.
Monday.
But I wouldn't say that because I wasn't good at math. So
Monday squared.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to break, and we got this old fucking audio from...
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have a big announcement, too.
Oh.
I could do it after. It's a big announcement.
Yeah. Wow. Well, the AZT is cheap these days, right?
Oh, no, I don't take it.
Oh.
I share my gift with everyone.
That's a big announcement?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Not really.
No.
It sounds big.
He was teasing, and then he said, not really, so it's like...
We don't need teases here.
No teases. I have...
Either going to listen or they're not.
Yeah.
Don't announce it on the air, Jim, just in case it falls through.
Yeah, well, you know what? Hold on, good point. Unless I'm killed by a drunk driver, I'll be in Albany November 15th and 16th at the Comedy Works. Now, Clinton, New Jersey.
Oh.
November 22nd and 23rd at a place called the Garden State Comedy Club. I'm working on material still. And then I'm doing Vegas, the 27th and 29th at the Hard Rock, because I'm going out to the Anderson Silva fight. So I booked Vegas just so I can fucking be out there for that fucking Chris Weidman Silva fight.
Why don't you just go to Vegas? Why do you always have to work?
Because it's New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve week, and I got a gig.
All right.
And then San Diego, New Year's Eve. The American Comedy Club. All these tickets go on sale Friday, I believe, but I can't wait. I'm so happy I have a reason to be in Vegas.
Nice. Okay.
Yay.
Dennis Falcone, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. We learn from each other, don't we?
Yes, we do. It's a sharing thing. It's a giving
Sure.
thing.
Now go out there and spread a little disease and hate.
Yes, some joy.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. Sirius XM. Sirius XM. The Opie and Anthony Show.
We got Newt Gingrich calling in today.
Newt Gingrich is calling.
I got a bunch of questions.
Oh, do you?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to ask?
What's up with the everything?
That's a good question right there. What's up with the everything? I can't wait to hear the answer.
Is he a lizard person?
I think he's considered one of the lizard people.
We might have to ask him.
Louis C.K. would call him a lizard person.
Got to make Louis C.K. happy. We got to ask Newt if he's one of the lizard people.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question about a news story. I don't think anybody can answer. There was a couple of planes, right? And they got skydivers in them, right? And they collide in midair. One plane rips the other plane's wing off. The plane that had two wings left landed safely. The guys in the other plane jumped out, and everyone survived. Now, this is odd. The pilot jumped out, too, and he was wearing a parachute. Now, why would they go up and have everyone in the plane have a parachute? Usually the pilot just flies the plane and lands. I don't think he intended on jumping out while he was flying the plane. And for the most part, they don't wear chutes just in case something happens.
Did he have enough time to get a chute?
He had it on.
Yeah, that's positive. Weird. He had it on already.
There's no time that he could have put a parachute on.
So then you got to start thinking stunt.
You think? You think it's a stunt?
Is there any video of the planes colliding?
I don't know. I don't know what video is out there.
So what's your question? Are pilots now wearing chutes?
I thought it was against some kind of regulation for the pilot to wear a parachute.
Why? If that's the only thing that'll save you.
I don't know, unless you're like in a military fucking plane. I think they frown on the idea of the pilot jumping out and having the plane just kind of crash into something.
Right.
I don't know. What up, yo?
The pilot had an emergency parachute, not a typical parachute.
Parachute's parachute.
Yeah, parachute is exactly.
But a parachute can be steered. An emergency parachute cannot be steered.
Yeah, but it still gets you on the ground nicely.
So he's just like, I don't trust this fucking shit.
Right.
I'm wearing a goddamn parachute.
This guy caught the whole story this
All right. Well, it saved his life.
Real conundrum.
Hey, Ed in Buffalo. How about them Bills? How about them Bills?
How about them Bills? Able to lose without allowing the opponents to score an offensive touchdown. How about them Bills?
How about them Bills? You almost had the Chiefs. You almost had them.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about the Sabres. We were there for against the Anaheim loss.
You treat my boy Molson good, you motherfuckers. Even though I do like the trade, but Molson was a good dude.
The Brewski. Give a fucking Vanek.
Love you, miss you, Matt. Anyway, go ahead, Ed.
I missed Anthony's question, but I did catch the whole story this morning on the news about the two planes colliding. All the jumpers were all coaches or trainers on how to skydive. They were all professional skydivers.
Right.
And the only one person that didn't have to open an emergency chute was the plane that collided on top of the other one. Now, when the first plane collided on top
He's not answering your question.
Of course not.
All right, Ed, I'm sorry.
And I knew.
I'm sorry, Ed.
And he just described a person as a plane. Or
a plane had a parachute, the plane.
I was wrong. Are you listening, Dennis? I was wrong for taking that phone call. I used to fly skydivers. We had to wear them.
Why?
Well, we're going to find out, hopefully, from Brad in California. But if you're in a skydiving plane and everyone else has fucking parachutes on, wouldn't you want one on too?
Well, you'd want one, I think.
Especially, I don't know, knowing everyone else is pretty safe.
I'm just wondering why, if these emergency chutes are so small and comfy enough where you can fly the plane unobstructed with it, why wouldn't every pilot wear one of these fucking things?
You know
what?
what?
The second something happens, you bail.
Ixnay. Maybe they are. Maybe it's one of these down low things where a lot of these guys are wearing that shit
I haven't heard
now.
one guy that's survived with one till now.
Well, those are the guys that weren't smart enough to do what they know their fellow pilots are doing. Brad, what do you got on this subject?
Well, we used to have to wear them because if guys get hooked up in a tail or something, or if the parachute opens at the wrong time, it just makes it safer. So we didn't always, if we're flying a bigger airplane like the Otter, had them sitting behind us, which wasn't really smart. But anytime we're flying the single-engine airplanes like a 206, I'm not sure what they were flying in. But then...
Oh, it makes sense. So these guys jumping out of the plane, they can fuck up the plane.
Right.
So there's a better chance that you might have an issue up there.
Yeah, so if you look over and they take the tail off, it's just way better to have one.
Right, of course.
All right, yeah, because the FAC might not let you.
Oh, God.
Thank you. Let's go to Rochester. Chris, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, FAA regulations require that when skydiving, the pilot must wear a parachute. Anytime that you're opening a side hatch on a plane, the pilot has to have a parachute on.
Oh.
That might be the real answer.
Why, you're the pilot and you're over there opening the fucking door and shit?
I guess they just figure if anybody opens a plane door and you're in the sky, that everyone should have a parachute on. I'm not sure
Plus,
why.
maybe this way, if they throw you out, you could just float to safety.
Well, very good, Chip. They throw you out.
Yeah, what if there's an issue or something over the TV and they throw you out the window?
Well, that makes perfect sense now.
No,
I mean, because no one was given that answer on the news.
I think we did get the answer now. That's good. What do you guys think of Bernie Getz getting busted for selling, what, $5 worth of weed?
Oh, leave the guy alone. What the fuck kind of...
But it shows they should have put him in jail all these years ago because we could have avoided.
that $5 bag of weed or whatever the fuck
I got tricked. I saw him on the front page. I thought he either murdered something.
Up to shenanigans again?
Yeah, but I'm like, for $5? He's on the front page of the paper just because
Subway
back in the day he had an issue?
Right? Subway vigilante, yeah.
And then I thought he was like a major dealer, and he's just selling a little bit.
He's just selling
little reefers.
A little weed.
He should fucking tie it to his squirrel. And then you send your squirrel over there with the weed. And then if they'd say, oh, you're busted, you go, I am my squirrel. I don't know who the fuck.
He'd probably try to figure it out.
Yeah.
He'd probably try to figure that one out. He loved his damn squirrel.
Yeah.
All right, we got some audio from the past.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Is it good, Sam?
I like this one.
So,
all right.
Basically, who else do we have coming in today, by the way? I should promote.
We have
Newt Gingrich in about a half hour.
He's calling.
How do you say his name?
Guillermo del Toro.
Director.
Right.
Good director. His latest Pacific Rim.
Did Jim just say he had a rod?
Also Hellboy.
Why do you have a rod?
Still.
Very thorough.
Trying to talk about stuff.
I'm with you.
So October is officially over.
Yes.
We're sad about it.
Well, when Jocktober ends, it's like, whew, thank God, it's over.
It was a pretty good month.
It was.
I thought in general it was pretty good.
We got the boat movie out of it.
Yep.
We got all shit a boat movie.
See the boat movie.
We got like a battery car.
It's like a battery car.
And yeah,
I can't feel my nose.
I can't even feel my own nose.
I can't even feel my own nose.
I can't even feel my own nose.
It's like a battery car.
It's like a battery car.
My favorite part of that is it's like a battery car.
It's like a battery car.
And the one that started all, I got a tree on my house.
I got a tree on my house.
That was from last year.
Yeah.
It's gotta be some crazy to have a battery car.
Oh, no.
Hey, this is Joe Boots a Total Doodle. I got a car and it's got a bunch of hats on it.
Why do they have hats on it?
I don't know. It's crazy. I think because I was drunk driving and I killed someone.
People love those calls. We should play them. That's what we should have been playing during the break there, E-Rock.
Damn.
What is this, Sam?
I got this clip sent to me a ton on Twitter over the weekend.
Yeah.
It's from Dish Nation. It's Scott and Todd, and you can see in the clip, I guess they decided to just air it, because Scott goes off on one of his stories, and you can see the other people in the studio, their disdain for him.
Where were they putting him?
Right directly on the Pay No Mind list.
Wow.
All right. Listen to this. I remember this story.
Oh, do you?
It was funny.
Dish Nation.
Yeah, Dish Nation.
That thing does well for them, huh?
Yeah, it's good quality stuff.
Still on the air.
Dish Nation.
Bunch of morning shows from around the country just kind of throwing the ball around.
Oh, it's awful. Throwing the ball around.
All right. And this was on TV.
This was
as part of Dish Nation.
Yeah.
A syndicated TV show.
I got a prom story.
Oh, boy. Wow.
The only prom I went to was with this girl I really, really liked, because she had a really nice figure.
Okay.
So, well, I've been trying to go out with her. Finally, because it was a prom, I guess no one else asked her. Or maybe she was attracted.
Holy shit, they couldn't be
she never
more disinterested.
had a drink before until prom night.
I put a roofie in it.
Yeah.
Is there an end to this story somewhere?
Yeah, she passed out.
Well, there you go. At least she didn't argue with you when it was time for sex.
No, there was no sex.
I lost my virginity. That's right. That's the end of the story.
All by myself.
You should have stuck it in her while she was asleep.
Oh, how great is that, though? He's sitting there being like, trying to get to this punchline, and Todd's like, all right, let's get to the punchline.
Yeah. Are we done?
But what was the story?
I guess a girl passed out.
Who cares?
That he went to prom with.
Oh, I got a corpse on my dick.
Yeah, I got vomit on my dick.
Who's that girl? She's fucking hot.
You liked her?
Yeah.
She's on a show all the time.
She's pretty. Who is she?
You want to get to know her, Jimmy?
I do.
Cooper?
Is she on the radio show?
She's very lovely.
Or is she just
she's always on the radio show.
Oh, no.
So
she's used to good laughs.
Wow.
Cooper on Scott and Todd. My apologies for all the things I've said. She's delightful.
I'd like to do Cooper in the pooper.
Yeah, this is Shannon Pettingill Cooper.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Those names are horrible.
I don't want to do this today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, you know, October's over, and usually we take one last look.
Who wants to see my rod? No one. Okay, I'm just asking.
I'll look.
Picture?
I'll look. Fuck it.
All right.
Is it
Someone's got
you have one now.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jimmy.
He's got a fully rigid heart-on.
What are you thinking of? Or is it some leftovers from the weekend?
Yeah, a little leftover.
A little leftover?
He's fully erect sitting.
Now you got to make a sandwich the next day after Thanksgiving. Jimmy's got a little...
Yeah, a little left.
After a good weekend, after a 3-day weekend, you get a little pumping up. Can't help it.
So we take one last look, and that is, of course, we take a look at ourselves.
Yeah.
The Opie and Anthony show.
And, we didn't suggest any audio. You guys just found some shit.
Oh, yeah.
A couple examples
we
of
didn't
us
have too much
being
trouble.
ridiculously douchey.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure that we had examples of both Opie and Anthony. To make sure that nobody felt left out.
Well, that's very nice of you, Sam.
Yeah.
So we go back to the only station that really rocks.
Of course. Thank God. I'd like to think we had kind of gotten a little better after AAF to where we wouldn't fall into a
What year is
category.
this from? 97?
1997.
Wow.
So that's 16 years ago.
Jesus. 16 years.
I like putting that out there. This is 16 years ago. What were you doing 16 years ago?
Early 20s. Late 20s. Or, where were we?
Mid-30s.
So,
Jesus.
This was the one we kind of started playing. A female caller was on the line. And we take that phone call.
This one's great.
And boobs are great. I don't care how old you are. Guys like looking at boobs. I'm sorry, ladies.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
Why?
You're really telling it to the ladies.
Wow, really? Really? Do guys really like looking at boobs?
Guys really like looking at boobs.
Do they really? Wow, what a surprise.
I'm sorry, ladies. Even gay guys like looking at boobs.
Reminds them of mom.
Huh?
It reminds them of mom.
Yeah, exactly. And this lady's like, get over it, grow up. When I'm 60, I hope I continue to talk about.
By the way, oh Christ! No lady ever said to me, "Get over it." Why would I just say that?
Get over it, Opie, with the boob talk.
You're basically saying you're never going to get over boobs. That you're young like these guys.
You don't mind being a little edgy.
Yeah, you're being crazy back then.
Some lady actually said that to me, did she?
You think she did or no?
Of course
Did
not.
you say some lady said get over it?
Yeah.
I missed that part.
Well,
no.
Well, I referred to it as so I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah.
I swear to you, by the way.
Get over it.
I'll say this much. I have no memory of ever doing this break.
No. This is one of the many that just go to the wayside.
Well, used to.
Yeah.
Now everything is collected.
Yeah.
This lady's like, get over it, grow up. When I'm 60, I hope I continue to talk about boobs. IAF, what do you got?
How old are you guys? I'm curious.
Late 20s, why?
No.
What? Late 20s?
You're on defensive, I am.
Late 20s, why?
Late 20s, why?
No follow-up questions on this.
Yeah, what are you talking? Late 20s, why?
Why?
Maybe he misunderstood
You old bag.
He might have misunderstood her question. You might have thought she said, how old were you 8 years ago?
Late 20s, why? All defensive.
Yeah.
Why? You're not believing it?
Yeah, what, do you work for DMV and have access to my license?
What, you're not believing it?
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Two single young crazy guys looking at boobs.
That's it.
Late 20s.
No one's telling us not to look at boobs.
Heck no.
I'm curious.
Late 20s, why?
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, first you sound like you're about 18.
Oh,
but I
thank
guess if you're in your late 20s, I guess kind of explains it.
Whoa, she thought I was even younger.
But you were younger. You could have.
So we were pulling it off.
Could have shaved off a few more years.
Yeah, mid-20s,
Taking a couple
why?
more.
Late teens.
She's all annoyed because I'm talking about boobs. She should be annoyed because it just sucks.
Late 20s. Move on with your line of questioning.
Right.
Not going to address this.
I'm not going to address this.
Not any further.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Late
Why?
20s, why?
Why?
You're just like, yeah, fucking bitch.
Yeah, she's probably a soch.
Yeah.
What's up, teach?
The worst thing the worst thing about that job was showing up at live appearances and realizing that the whole facade could be knocked down.
Oh, no.
As soon as they saw us. It was easy behind the mics, but then we had to go out there and be fucking
late 20s.
A bit older than late 20s.
Late 20s, why?
Why?
You're doing the Dennis Falcone approach of just theater.
Yeah. Theater of the mind.
Dude, we went to AF. It was a very young station.
Oh, boy.
Very young station.
Late 20s.
Late 20s, why?
Why? What's up?
I love that one.
20, why?
Late 20s, why? No, how old are you guys? Seriously, let's just
spend a little time on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Whatevs.
IAF, what do you got?
How old are you guys? I'm curious.
Late 20s. Why?
No way.
Why?
Yeah. I guess we didn't want to have the beginning of that call, whatever she said. So you just cut it right on the. How old are you guys?
Oh, really?
Oh, the cut is awful.
Is it a bad cut?
You know, you had to cut like a bunch of shit out of it.
Yeah, just to get to that point.
And she probably oozed from that right into how old are you guys?
You're thinking this would be a great time to reinforce that we're still in our late 20s.
Right.
Well, the next clip.
Yeah.
From 16 years ago.
Oh, boy.
Apparently my,
We've explored the many times.
Oh, does make an appearance?
You don't like when Opie does the Anthony?
Well, at the time, we were all just having fun.
Look,
in hindsight.
And if you don't like when Opie does the yeah, you're really not going to like this.
I'm not going to like this.
No.
I know.
It's cool, though. You truly feel like part of the scene.
Yeah, I was bleeding from the ears.
All right, dude, no one wants to hear us talk today. Let's, rock.
Hey, man.
Let's rock.
That was Anthony doing the yeah.
Oh,
That's not the douchiest part, though.
You hate what part is making you turn around in your chair right now?
Everyone's feeling like we are because we were fucking partying so hard last night. So let's just rock today.
I missed that part. Let me hear it.
Missed that part.
We're like, hey, we're partied out. Being in your late 20s,
must have been
you party a lot.
Must have been the day after one of those big fucking events where they wouldn't even give us the day off after that.
Yeah.
So we were partying. That means they were partying. That means they don't want to hear our fucking genius today. So let's just let the music do the talking.
Let's hear.
It's cool, though. You truly feel like part of the scene.
Yeah, I was bleeding from the ears.
All right, dude, no one wants to hear us talk today. Let's, rock.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
But you weren't doing ironically, were you?
No.
No, you just said that?
You just shook your head.
Yeah!
It was the thing to say, Jimmy. You don't know what cool was.
How did anybody get anything done in this crazy house?
Oh, God.
Lunacy was all over the place.
Justin Stengel is saying this is reminiscent of something.
What?
The Extreme.
Yeah.
The Extreme.
Yeah. Let's just rock.
But we knew what
we
knew what our fans wanted and needed.
Why weren't we doing it?
Rock.
Earplugs.
They just needed rock.
They just wanted to rock.
Jimmy. Yeah.
Oh, boy, you belted out a
I did.
No. Can we hear that again, though? Because I think there's one part I missed.
Oh, you didn't hear the whole thing?
Yeah, it's one to catch again.
Okay, sure.
Let's rock.
It's cool, though. You truly feel like part of the scene.
Yeah, I was bleeding from the ears.
All right, dude, no one wants to hear us talk today. Let's, rock.
Hey, man.
What song did we go into?
Don't know.
I need to know. You don't know.
I come from the water.
I come from the water.
Yeah.
Is that the Toadies follow-up?
Oh,
right?
Boy.
Yeah.
That was good, right?
They'll rue the day. Total ruage. Oh, God.
Oof.
Wow.
That's bad.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just yawning.
What's the next one?
All right. So,
Oh, God.
Opie decided he wanted to come up with a bit that I guess he intended on doing regularly, but
No.
we don't have any tapes of him doing this more than once. But I need for you to sit through the whole thing.
No.
Even when you think it's like, okay, there might be moments where you think it's not so bad. You're like, oh, I don't know if this is that bad. Till the end of the clip.
Right.
Jim, are you okay with that?
110%.
What's wrong at the end?
Well, you just...
Can we just play the end?
No,
I want the lead up. I want to get the flavor.
We need the context and your inimitable way of throwing it back to the music.
Oh. Well, we got the micro cassette to work here.
Yeah, we've got our AA batteries, micro cassette recorder.
Right. All right.
Opie's got a little tape out of his phone machine, his answering machine.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I've decided to start a new bit. I think a lot of people can relate to this. You're hanging out at your crib, doing whatever you like to do.
What's wrong with that? He's right.
God damn it! I had a lingo book.
A lingo book. Opie's lingo.
You're
How
red,
to
too.
sound-
You're red. You're very red right now.
I just
wow.
because I just rubbed my. I was like,
Oh, God.
How do they say house? How do they say house? Oh, crib.
I was hanging out in the
any
crib.
word that would make me seem younger.
Crib.
Oh, boy.
You got to say it young, too.
Yeah, it's your crib.
I would record the telemarketers as they would call my house.
Ah, that was it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing whatever you like to do. Usually this nightmare happens while you're trying to eat or trying to have sex or watching your favorite.
I'm explaining why telemarketers are horrible people.
Eat or have sex or go to the bathroom. Maybe if you have a flat on your car, you change a tire. You know, water the lawn.
Basically, all I had to say was it's never a good time. But I had to give examples.
And then you said eat, but then you had to say something cool. Eat,
right around
having sex,
rocking.
Because if I hadn't mentioned, I'm a guy in my late 20s who has sex.
Yeah. My libido
looks at boobs
through the roof. I'm looking at boobs. I don't care what people say.
You know why I like boobs so much? The sex.
right around the corner, I always had to say something cool.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't go too long without saying something that I would deem cool.
You have to back up a little bit, though, because I didn't catch the beginning.
Oh, boy.
I'm into heterosexual intimacy.
It's before where you describe where it is. Maybe from the beginning. It's only a couple seconds. Thanks.
A lot of people can relate to this. You're hanging out at your crib, doing whatever you like to do. Usually this nightmare happens while you're trying to eat or trying to have sex or watching your favorite program. All of a sudden, it's a call my house literally every morning. And I know why they call now a lot. Because I'm a big a-hole to these telemarketers. I curse and scream and tell...
Ugh, Christ.
Whoa.
Hey, look out.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me.
Don't fucking call Opie.
Oh, dude. If you don't like...
this is so
Dude,
funny.
if you don't like the way you're describing yourself there... You're going to have a rough go of it for this clip.
Some clips are coming in. What accent is this? And someone commented with douche. What accent?
Yeah,
my crib.
Having sex in my crib.
Fuck.
Every morning. And I know why they call now a lot. Because I'm a big a-hole to these telemarketers. I curse and scream and tell them never to call me back again.
And they put your name on a big list.
I guarantee they just pass my damn number around and say, hey, annoy this, guy.
You're like a telemarketer's slut.
That's right.
Just being passed around.
That's right. So I am not exaggerating. I get 4 or 5 of these people calling me every day between 8:30 and 1 o'clock. All right? So I said, fine.
Truth.
These guys want to play. Do you want to play, Mr. Telemarketer?
Dude. You better get comfortable with those chills. Oh, God. Look how happy Jim is.
You want to play?
You want to play?
Telemarketers, come out to play.
Okay, let's take...
Oh, you picked the wrong person.
Look out.
Can I take a survey real quick?
Yeah.
I need it's called a guessing game.
Uh-huh.
What do you think how do you think Opie's going to describe himself? Do you want to play? Do you want to play with blank?
Not the Oafster.
What do you think? Everybody take a guess.
Moi.
I'm going to say
moi. You say moi.
I'm going to say the Opster.
Opie, do you have
God,
a
I
guess?
hope it's the Opster because then it brings it all together. What are you trying to do?
What do you think it is?
I'm praying. I say the Opster.
All right, well,
let's hear.
Let's rewind.
So I said, fine. These guys want to play. Do you want to play, Mr. Telemarketer? Do you? Do you want to mess with me, the psycho? So I
decided. Jimmy's hiding his face in his hands. Oh, no. Jimmy's laughing so hard. Oh, no.
I'm trying to marry two things there.
Oh, this is great.
Yes, I am psycho, but not in that instance. The psycho. Jesus.
This is crazy.
Is it believable, at least, that I'm a tough guy?
You're so menacing.
Is it believable?
No.
I guess he's going to probably go find the telemarketer and kill him.
Because he's a psycho, you mean?
Because, well, to be psycho and crazy, you wouldn't just do something over the phone.
No, just record them and bring them on the...
Yeah.
It's not really
Nothing wrong
psycho.
with this. That's fucking the way you gotta be.
Yeah?
Be a fucking sicko.
Don Wickman is saying that I should be bullied for this audio.
Oh, well. I like it.
You're not going to like the next track.
I know I'm not. Believe me.
God, I go first.
That's why I'm just enjoying this, because I know I'm...
The psycho. So I decided to start taping these idiots.
Right.
And start messing with them. So this is my first effort, so please be kind. They will get a lot better.
All right.
So I'm sitting home, the phone rings, and I recorded this, and this is legit, I swear to God. Check it out.
Hi, please speak to, what's this referring to? My name is Mike. I'm calling from America on behalf of the National Dean's List. The Dean's List? Yes. All right. And what do you want to know? Okay, well, the reason I'm calling today, sir, is to let you know within the next 3 to 4 weeks, because of your academic achievement, you could be receiving our National Dean's List preferred MasterCard. This card does offer a number of extended benefits and features that can save you time and money, in addition to having no annual fee, no application fee. But I never graduated high school, so why would you give it to me? I am speaking to... Yes. Okay, sir. Well, I don't really know about my. I don't really
Psycho
know about
got
the
him
origin
there.
of this list, so I can't say for sure why we would be calling. I never even made it out of the 8th grade. Okay, sir. Well, I do thank you for your time. You have yourself a good day. Hello? Yeah. I'm confused. Is this a credit card? Yes, sir. Oh, I could use credit. I could use a lot of credit. Would I have to actually pay the bills? Well, yeah. Yes, sir, you would have to pay the bills. Well, what if you guys just send it to me and I, just start charging stuff? You are over 18 years old, I'm assuming. Yeah. Then you would be liable for any charges.
Not much, though, right?
What?
Not much over 18.
What's weird is, like, I mean, the call itself isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like me? Why isn't that guy, like, on the radio back then? That's what's confusing to me.
It'd be a psycho.
Yeah.
Psychotic.
It is pretty crazy, right? There's some crazy shit going on.
Psycho.
No, but the call's fine.
The call's not that bad. But that guy wasn't on the radio. Why wasn't that guy on the radio?
I don't know.
Yeah, then you would be liable for any charges you would put on the card. Liable? What does that mean? You would have to pay them. You would be responsible for that. Now, can I possibly get crack cocaine using the credit card? Unless your dealer would take credit cards, you'd probably have to go to an ATM and take cash out. Can I take the cash out with the credit card? And then pay the crack man? Sure. All right, can you send me more info on this? Sure, I can do that. Okay. Like, my kid could use one of those nice swimming pools. Okay. Okay, thank you for your time. You have yourself a good day. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Call's not terrible.
It's all right. I mean,
But
I'm
now
I'm not embarrassed by it.
Now we're gonna. You front sold it with the psycho angle,
right?
And now we're gonna back sell it with how outrageous and crazy it was. we gotta pump everything up, didn't we?
I would assume that's what's gonna happen.
I would assume too.
And then you're gonna hear a completely different guy on the radio.
Yeah.
By the way,
because I can relate to the guy on the, me from 16 years ago on the phone. I hear that as being me.
Right.
I don't hear the on-air guy being me.
I don't like the music bed by the...
that was constant. We hated that.
Rock never stops.
For some reason, if we didn't play that, then that meant the rock did stop.
Rock only stopped, and we know the rock only stops twice an hour.
And then we would be lying, and that would be an issue. I don't with who I don't know.
Did the rock stop for the commercials?
Sure did. Good point. Point Jimmy. So the call's over now. We're going to go back to being live on the radio.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you for your time. Have yourself a good day. Okay. Bye. Bye.
Jeez. You want to call my house? All right, go for it. It's going to get a lot worse.
Now they become a bit.
Right. Shows I have absolutely no life, that I'm just sitting around my apartment waiting for the phone to ring so I can tape these idiots.
For a dopey guy to call you up. Telemarketers.
Telemarketers. I didn't know you could buy crack cocaine with a damn credit card.
How am I even in this business?
Hope he's disgusted with himself right now.
God, I would fucking go back in time.
Buy crack cocaine with a credit card.
Just go on the air as yourself.
Right.
Stop being paranoid that you're working for a young fucking radio station. Just do it.
Damn, crack cocaine with a credit card.
Why would you do that?
Because everything had to be over the top.
I don't know.
I don't know. We couldn't just talk.
Well, we did really well, right?
I don't know how. It was a different time. Oh, boy.
Mr. Gingrich?
Yes?
Newt Gingrich is on our phone. Thank you for calling, sir.
Glad to do it.
Very,
How are you all doing?
Very good.
Right. We're
very
a little
good, as a matter
tired.
of fact.
I'm so tired I should be in a tire store, you
Yeah.
know?
The holiday or a Halloween weekend was a little taxing on everybody, but I hear you have a book out, sir?
No.
Yeah, we do. We have a brand new book out as of today, actually, called Breakout. And in fact, we're going to be in Ridgewood, New Jersey tonight at 7 o'clock at Bookends for our first book signing in the Northeast.
So do people go down there and they get the book signed and they get to meet you and whatnot, things of that nature?
My wife, Calista, will be there with her book, Yankee Doodle Dandy, which is for 4 to 8 year olds. So we're sort of covering the waterfront.
Little kid's book there.
Sure.
But Breakout basically describes how you can use science and technology and entrepreneurship to get out of the mess in Washington and get us back to being the most dynamic economy in the world. And in that sense, I think it's a very timely, important message.
Well, it certainly is. I've noticed of late, the past few years, America doesn't seem like that powerhouse we used to be, and it's depressing, downright depressing to watch. And there doesn't seem to be a light at the tunnel there, at the end of the tunnel there. Newt.
My mother said that Chipper will go in a hell in a handbasket.
Hell in a handbasket is a good way to put it. What do you think?
I think that if we allow the current system in Washington to dominate, we have a very bleak future. But I think we have the opportunity to create new choices and new opportunities. And I think what Breakout tries to do is lay out for you how real this is and how powerful it is.
What's one of the most important things that needs to be done to turn this around?
Well, I think the important thing is to recognize that all across America there are pioneers of the future,
and Canada.
whether it's in regenerative medicine or it's in self-driving cars or it's in online education, or just area after area where we see exciting new things happening, and the government's not responsive. I mean, take the Obamacare website.
Oh, please.
And then
That's crashing.
Yeah.
Well, so go to Amazon, go to eBay, go to Google, go to Wikipedia, and ask yourself, why is it that they get it right?
Right.
Yeah. And the federal government spends hundreds of millions of dollars and can't get it to work.
It's because I don't trust the government to do anything as far as if you had a private business that was based on web commerce and it was down for a month since their launch, they'd have cleaned house in there. They'd have fired everybody.
My mother says they're not eating a bunch of fruitcakes out there, Chip, and they're not
Chip.
doing their jobs right.
Exactly, Chip.
She's a wonderful woman.
So I'm trying to figure out. You know, I understand what you're saying and what your book is saying about turning this around and stuff.
Sure.
But I don't think we have enough time. I think the way the government's going these days, we're in dire straits here, is what I see. And I don't see.
But look, when you go to the state level, watch the size of Chris Christie's victory tomorrow. Here's a guy who went to Trenton in a very blue state, surrounded by government employee unions, and he has made a real difference. Look at Scott Walker in Wisconsin, who's made a real difference, or John Kasich in Ohio, or Rick Perry in Texas.
Or what about John Kerry? He was going to run for president.
No, Chip. Don't pay no attention to Chip there, Newt. He's
yeah. Well, I'm an optimist because I think you gain energy by finding good leaders and by doing things that are smart. And I think that there are lots of people in America who are genuinely pioneers of the future, but they run into these prison guards of the past, whether they're lobbyists, bureaucrats, politicians. And that's what the fight's all about. But are we going to be a country trapped in the past, or are we going to be a country that breaks out and once again creates a great future?
What about battery cars and things of that nature? My mother said that they're going to take the gas companies and really take them to the woodshed.
Well, he's talking about technology.
That's what I'm saying. I know.
Sure.
Well, look, I think you're going to see a lot. First of all, if you look at the price of gas in Midlands, Texas.
Oh my God, it's higher than it's ever been, Chip. But that's what my mother said.
Let Mr. Gingrich finish his sentence, please.
If you look at the development of natural gas and oil production,
natural gas,
we're now the #1 producer in the world, which 10 years ago people would have told you was impossible. And in Midlands, Texas, yesterday, the price of gasoline had dropped to $2.89.
Oh, that's reasonable.
I ran my campaign saying we could get it down to $2.50, and people thought I was crazy. But it is literally $2.89 today in Midlands, Texas. So you have to ask yourself, how much of the additional price you're paying in your state is taxes, state taxes, and to what extent does the government make it all a lot more expensive?
Well, absolutely they do. But I see things like technology and the oil industry, refining, even natural gas with fracking and whatnot.
Hey, watch your language.
Stop it. I see it being obstacles being put up at every turn with this administration. They don't seem to be a very proactive administration when it comes to our own natural resources and letting that.
Well, no, they're just I think the Budget Conference Committee, for example, ought to raise the question: how would you like to have an extra $59 billion?
I love that.
By opening up federal lands. I mean, we don't have to raise taxes. Just let us develop our own natural resources, and you get billions of dollars of additional revenue.
Well, I don't think this administration knows what "don't have to raise taxes" means, sir.
No, they are sort of addicted to.
Yes.
They know the right answer is raise taxes. They just don't know what the question is.
Raise taxes. Take people that are productive members of this society that actually work for a living and make them the villains and penalize them for achieving the American dream.
I had a shirt that said, just when I know all the answers, they changed the question.
That's a great shirt, Chip. Jesus. Mr. Gingrich, where are you going to be again this?
He already said it. Ridgewood. He's signing a bunch of books.
He should plug again. He's very.
We're going to be at Bookends, which is a great bookstore. And we're very excited to have a chance to see people. We'll be there at 7:30 tonight.
Cool.
And it is at 211 Ridgewood Avenue in Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Do you think that the problem is that nobody's buying gas like they used to? Because my mother said that, Chip, people are carpooling and whatnot and things of that nature.
People are smart, and if you raise the price of something, they try to find ways to avoid using it. I mean, that's basic common sense.
Yeah, my mother says walk or take the bus.
No,
Chip,
alternate power sources, I think, is...
What about the sun? Why don't we use that? It's like we always use other... how about the sun for power? That's not crazy, is it?
Well, I think solar power is coming down the road, and you see some places using more and more of it. But in the short run, meaning the next 50 years, you're still going to get...
That's a long time.
No, it's not.
Of your fuel is going to come from natural gas and oil.
I think
I'm good at producing that.
I think human beings and Americans mostly, when we're faced with a challenge, that's when we come to the table. If for some reason we truly were running out of fossil fuels, we would be amazing in coming up with a viable alternative.
Yeah.
We're just not very proactive, but we do come to the table when we have to.
And I think, of course, what's happened is people invented the new technology of fracturing and hydraulic drilling, and all of a sudden you had a tremendous increase in the amount of natural gas and the amount of oil available in the U.S., which people would have told you 10 years ago was impossible. And the whole point of my book, Breakout, is that you can go to almost every field and you'll find pioneers in the future who are creating things that people would have thought was impossible.
Exactly.
And what we need a political generation that tries to learn from these people who are developing the future, because we could have a much more dramatic increase in jobs and in take-home pay and in opportunity.
And that's bad, right?
Out of the way.
Exactly, Mr. Gingrich. That's what I've been saying for years now.
You never said that.
Yes, I have. It's why can't the government nurture these innovators and people that are productive instead of making people dependent on the government so they can make sure they get the votes the next time around.
Yeah, they all want to get voted into something.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think the very path that destroyed Detroit was exactly what you described.
Oh, yes.
Politicians who want you dependent on them, so you need them, so you'll reelect them.
Right.
And what it does in the long run is it destroys the economy.
Absolutely.
Detroit's not good. My mother goes there once in a while, and she's a chipper. It's falling apart.
It is falling apart.
Hell in a handbasket.
All right. Mr. Gingrich, thank you so much for checking in. I'm sure you're a busy man.
Do you think that they're going to keep raising taxes, yes or no?
No, I think we're going to beat them, and we're going to, in fact, lower taxes.
I hope so. We really got to jump in there next year and
jump like a bunch of Mexican jumping beans or something.
And take this from him, make him a true lame duck president.
Lame duck? What are you? Is that a deal at a restaurant or something?
Again, Newt Gingrich. The name of the book?
What's that? I don't have no books.
Breakout. Thanks so much for calling.
And you're going to be signing the book in Ridgewood, New Jersey at the Ridgewood Bookstore.
New Jersey. Take care, Mr. Gingrich. Thank you.
The book's called Breakout, I think, right?
Yes. All right. Couldn't get off the phone fast enough.
I will never be able to just talk to these people. I like how Psycho Opie jumped in. Yeah! Oh, God. Oh, Chip.
Well, I'm not a big Newt fan.
I know you're not.
But I'm not going to be I'll be silly with it, but I'm not going to be a complete dick.
He got his message out there. What are we, fucking Hannity over here?
It was beautiful.
I know.
People know he has a book out. That's all that matters.
There you go. Breakout. Breakout, don't start you at. Who was that? Who did that stupid song?
Gotta call you up. Telemarketers. Telemarketers.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could buy crack cocaine with a damn credit card. Damn credit card.
Oh, do you know who should have talked to him?
Who?
Craig Schenkel.
No, because then I would have cursed. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Craig Schenkel.
It's a real conundrum, Mr.
Shink about it.
Shink about it. If everybody just chipped in and did their job or something, people would have like that's Chip Schenkel. Sometimes they meld in my head. What's a conundrum or something?
Conundrum.
How about a conundrum gonna do it?
We do have one more track.
Yeah?
As we look back.
Oh, Jesus.
16 years ago. From our Boston days.
Oh, no. What is it?
Well, it's the return of radio's edgiest character.
Oh, no.
Right.
Wait. Oh, no!
Who do you think it is?
Is it Curse Man? Is it Curse Man?
You didn't think you guys only did that once, did you?
I don't want to listen to Curse Man.
I don't want to do this.
I fucking don't ever want to hear Curse Man again.
Why the F not?
Well, it was regular radio. You couldn't curse on the radio. That's why.
Well, the Curse Man ignored the rules.
That's right.
I forgot about Curse Man until this very moment.
Ew. What is Curse Man?
You don't remember Curse Man?
Curse Man tells it like it is, Jimmy.
No, I don't.
Actually, I don't think I can listen to this.
Yeah, you can.
It's Opie and Anthony. We got Curse Man on the line, bro.
Curse Man, we haven't heard from him
in months, I think.
Oh.
Yo, AF!
Hey, you heard Anthony surprised by the Curse Man's appearance,
Sure, why
correct?
wouldn't he be? He couldn't believe that Curse Man was calling in.
Right.
I don't want Curse Man to call.
Well, because we would be bummed he didn't call on a regular basis. Sam,
It's just weird that
we were bummed
when the Curse Man finally does call.
Yeah,
I feel like you are the one who asks all the questions.
Oh,
yeah, but we learned our craft, and as the years went by, we figured out ways where Ant could ask questions to his characters.
Yeah, we did figure that out.
Yeah, we did figure that out eventually.
Oh, wasn't I completely ripping off the Jerky Boys, too? I think I was ripping off the Jerky Boys.
No, it's
like the same
Todd
voice.
would do that.
But hey, look, it's like fucking 1 year into my tenure on radio. It's not like I've been on there for 30 years and I'm ripping off fucking Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
And Jerky Boys was very timely and pertinent. It was an homage more than a robbery. Oh, my God.
Months, I think.
Yeah.
Yo, AF! Hey, it's Curse Man!
Where you been?
Pretty good. Where the hell have you?
It's more Pesci.
Yeah, a little more Pesci. Okay.
It's Curse Man.
But it's Curse Man.
Yeah. I know how to sell shit.
Sure, amazing that beeping Curse Man. Beeping Curse Man as he speaks. Amazing timing.
Amazing.
Oh, he's just whooping and hollering and
That's
shaking
right.
pom-poms at every bit.
Right. That's right. Let's fucking push this forward.
That's it.
We got some bits to sell.
Nothing ever sucked. Ever.
Where you been?
Pretty good. Where the hell have you been?
You, I'm pissed off.
Why are you pissed off?
Hey, will you answer me this? What year is it?
1997.
1997, huh?
Yeah.
Get the fucking horse and buggies off the road!
Uh-oh!
Jesus, I'm trying to drive to Boston.
I say that sometimes, and I'm like,
well, you know, I mean, there's things going on in your city, and, you know, thank God we had Curse Man to kind of set everyone straight. That's
now do we get local?
That's what the horse and buggies are.
Yeah, we get local?
Yeah.
Curse Man ain't having it.
Uh-oh. I don't remember ever seeing a horse and buggy.
Where, in Boston?
A place we never went.
I don't think I ever did either. They don't have handsome cabs.
It must have been in the paper.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, that uh-oh is like, oh, boy, I don't know if we can handle this.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can handle this.
Here it comes.
Here comes the Curse Man.
This is the Curse Man that we're used to.
He's going to tell it like it is.
Curse Man. What the fuck? Wow, real subtle.
Exactly. This bit is a Curse Man.
Now back to the dick duo.
I'm trying to drive to Boston. I got Charles Ingalls blocking the street. And people get all upset when Mr. Ed gets a Buick Enema. What do they expect? And his ass wife is saying, oh, it's romantic to take your girl on a carriage ride to historic Boston.
Yeah?
Romantic? Breathing in carbon monoxide, sitting in traffic jams, staring at a big horse's ass for $40. The word comes to mind, but it ain't romantic.
Ah, nice.
And speaking of horses,
I really like that one. That was a good one. That one I really like.
Shit, I am fucking dying over here.
Why?
You don't like the Curse Man?
No.
Yeah, I don't want the Curse Man to call.
No.
She didn't want him to call it.
Why does this have to come back and haunt me? This is like fucking opening up the poltergeist fucking house. It's just 16 years ago. Why would I?
And a Curse Man is good.
The Curse Man.
This man is.
He's a man who curses.
comes to mind, but it ain't romantic.
Ah, nice.
And speaking of horses' asses, hey, how about this John Kennedy?
Oh, no, you read this in the Herald today?
Yeah, he says his cousin's a poster boy for bad behavior.
Yeah.
Oh, newsflash. No part of being a Kennedy. Hey, Johnny boy, if your old man hadn't had a radical headectomy, he'd be right there with Fat Teddy, burying more bones than f***ing Ring 1010.
That's a good line.
And Michael, what's with him? Hey, Mike, you allergic to pubic hair? A 14-year-old girl, she don't have a beaver, and he looks like one. Jesus.
Wow, that's all right.
That was a little edgy for regular radio.
That's all right.
It sure was.
What was the story?
Kennedy looked like a beaver.
Yeah.
Michael Kennedy was
some 14-year-old. What?
Scandal with
Probably
14-year-old.
Martha Moxley.
Oh, maybe. And little John was still alive.
Looks like what? Jesus. I got something to say to these UPS strikers while I'm pissed off.
Ah, be careful with my boys.
Hey, quit your...
Jesus Christ.
Why?
Because they're fucking working Joes. That's why.
We didn't want to alienate anybody. No,
Come on,
right,
be careful of the working man. We go after the establishment here, not the guys on the street.
the man.
That's right.
Yeah, you don't cross that picket line ever.
Oh, that's right. Scab.
Jesus.
A regular Joe.
I'm no skell.
That was my chance to go, look, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
You're a blue-collar dude.
I'm just a blue-collar dude.
Hey, easy there with my boys.
That's right.
Be careful with my boys.
Hey, quit your bitching. Booty, hooty, hoo. I only make $20 an hour. For delivering boxes, some women I know, they sell boxes for that f***ing money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Hey, it's fun to watch the cops beat you guys, though. I ain't seen so many brown guys get beaten since the LA riots.
Hello!
That was a complete Wheeze ripoff. But when Wheeze does it, it makes sense.
That hello was great.
Wheeze, when there was something over the top edge, you go, hello, you know, but
that was like holla.
Holla!
Brown guys get beat since the LA riots. Hello!
What you mean?
Hey, it's fun to watch the cops beat you guys, though. I ain't seen so many brown guys get beaten since the LA riots.
Hello!
I gotta go. I'm pissed off.
All right, Curse Man.
You.
Oh, my God.
He's a bitter man.
I haven't heard him that angry in quite a while.
I
thought he was lightening up.
I hope he continues to be that angry and...
Who knows?
And contributing to the damn radio show. It would be nice. Wouldn't it? Yeah, it really would. So get off your damn website and start writing more material.
Oh, did I tear a wall down there?
Whoa. I like that you say damn a lot.
I hate the fact that you're both, at the end of it, just enjoying the madness of Curse Man's
we just think we're just
enjoying the madness.
Like right now, you know that it's just been a hit, and you're just enjoying
just
basking in it.
Basking's a great word.
Yes.
Material. Instead of spending 8 hours in cyberspace every night, maybe,
Curse Man.
Yeah, Curse Man.
He's always on the web, that bastard.
Making an underground Opie and Anthony website.
Yeah.
This damn show is suffering because of it.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know how we're sitting here.
My only thought is that I can't believe those two guys are us.
These two guys.
Are these two guys.
It's a lot easier to believe than you think.
Holy fuck.
Wowie kazowie.
Like those two guys are now us.
That's it. That's it. That's us.
Where's Jimmy going?
You quit.
Oh. Jimmy's gone. So, thank God. That's all it is. That's easy. Not really. Right?
That was a little rough.
Yeah.
Curse Man. Yeah. I had completely forgotten that Curse Man even existed. There was a Curse
We had a really young audience.
Yeah. We'll keep saying that.
Because the other thing I'm thinking is like, I can't even imagine a 30-year-old guy was enjoying that.
No, it was all about just fucking...
Well, I got very good news.
What's that?
We haven't heard from him in many years.
Oh, who's that?
Curse Man.
What?
Hello?
Peckers.
Hey, Curse Man.
What's going on, Curse Man?
Farts. Big shit.
where you been?
Suckers.
Where you been for 16 years, Curse Man?
Assholes.
Words that describe Opie and Anthony?
It's Curse Man.
Hey, Curse Man.
What's up?
Hey, big fucking peckers.
Where you been?
Huh?
Where you been for 16 years?
Farts.
See, he's Curse Man. He's just curses.
Very big stinky fucking vaginas. Big fucking pits with cum all over them.
He's not even saying anything.
With a bunch of fucking shit hanging out of them.
Yeah. He's not...
I'm cursing.
Yeah,
you hit me with the door.
Someone hit him with the door.
All right.
All right. Well, good to hear from you again, Curse Man. No goodbye, no nothing.
Of course.
He just...
All right. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to get our next guest in studio, okay?
Yes, Guillermo del Toro. His Curse Man called. You missed it.
Called back. He was terrific.
Curse Chip.
We'll get Guillermo del Toro in next, so stay right where you are.
Yeah.
Sirius XM. Sirius XM. It's the Opie and Anthony Show.
Let's get Guillermo del Toro in studio.
Del Toro. Promoting a book. It's a giant book that smells really good.
Oh, yeah. Here he comes.
Yes.
Guillermo.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
Cabinet of Curiosities. My notebooks, collections, and other obsessions.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Hey, hi.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Same here.
Big fan of the of your movies, sir. I enjoyed Pacific Rim very much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and I go into these movies sometimes. I'm like, all right, I don't know what this is going to be about, but I hope for the best. That was awesome. It was like old school kind of Godzilla-ish vibe to it, but with amazing visuals and the size that you portray with these robots were great. I thought it was a fun movie to watch.
We spent 3 years on it, and
wow,
it was really. If you ask me, I spent 38 years wanting to make it.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's a movie that is so attuned with my 10-year-old, self.
Yeah.
It was, and inside every guy there is a 10-year-old constantly. You remain that kid, and hopefully the movie reminds you of what it is to be that.
What were you watching back then? Sci-fi movies and things like that?
I was a completely freaky kid.
Yeah. So was there a lot of Godzilla movies?
Everything. In Mexico, I was born in '64. Mm-hmm. So I came in right at the height of the giant monster movie.
Yeah.
It was when Godzilla was king. I went to opening day of many Godzilla films.
Oh, yeah. What was it? Remember Destroy All Monsters came out
One
with
of the best.
Ghidra and Rodan and Gamera.
Those were the ones I liked. The more monsters.
Yeah, the better, right?
The better. It's like wrestling.
Yeah.
You have the good wrestlers and the bad wrestlers, except they are throwing tanks at each other, buildings at each other.
Yeah. I thought the Gargantuans didn't get enough credit.
That is perhaps one of my two favorites. Yeah.
War of the Gargantuans was a really good movie, too. Yeah.
The way they moved the hair on their bodies and made it look like real people. It was just
that was a good one.
And what a lot of people don't know is that it's a sequel to another movie that is lesser known called Frankenstein Conquers the World.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And when I was a kid, that movie opened in a tiny cinema in my hometown. I took the bus, took me an hour to get to the cinema, sat down to see War of the Gargantuans. In the middle of the movie, somebody throws a big glass of pee from the balcony. it lands on my head.
Come on.
Here's how much
that made you love the movie, I hope.
No. Here's how much I loved it. I stayed.
You stayed with pee on your head.
I came out with a sort of something about Mary hairdo.
Why did they throw pee? It was never established?
Well, it's established as it was back then a very favored prank in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, man.
We used to just do soda. We weren't brave enough to do pee. Well, Northport. Remember the Northport
throwing soda.
The balconies, yeah.
But that theater I went to is what they used to call in Mexico. They used to call it a one brick theater because they gave you one brick for the rats. So
not
a reputable.
Right. So you're helping out as an exterminator while you're watching
you're doing
the movie.
Your duty, yeah.
That was like the golden age of those movies.
Of all horror and fantasy.
Yeah, and they were all they all seemed to be like 90 minutes long. Like it was an hour and a half. That's all you needed.
As frankly, every movie should be in a way.
Yeah.
Except, but we seem to have a hard time controlling past 2 hours. Pacific Rim was dead on 2 hours and 30-something seconds.
Yeah.
But back then you have. In TV, you were watching all the Universal monster movies.
Yeah.
In theaters, you have Kaijus and Hammer movies. Christopher Lee. As
the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought those were they had a horrifying element to them. The Hammer film. I thought he was the best Dracula, Christopher Lee.
With the bleeding eyes. Yeah, his eyes would bleed. Oh, it was so creepy. As a kid, you would really get scared.
And he had a power that was not creaky. It was like this guy could not only absolutely suck the damsels, but he would kick your ass.
Yeah.
He looked like he would a great fighter. You know?
There was something about going to the movies back then that was such a. Now you just kind of, it's an aside. You know, that you could have a movie you really want to go see, but it was like as a kid when you went to the movies the theater to go see it, because it was something. First of all, you knew you were not going to see this movie again.
Yeah.
If not ever, it was going to be years if you ever saw it again. Yeah. So you had to pay attention and soak it all in and enjoy it.
Back then, I remember one of the big things was if you were able to steal a movie poster.
Oh, yeah,
you liked the movie a lot, you would
yeah.
steal a movie poster. But and the only way you could memorialize the movie was by buying the soundtrack on an LP.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were special moments. You know?
Yeah, and now it's easy to just, you get it
as they say,
on demand.
It's one of your entertainment options.
Right, one of the many. Yeah.
Do you like the remakes and stuff of Godzilla?
Well, I really don't mind remakes if they're good. Every remakes or original movies, if they're crappy, it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
No, they kind of go away.
The great remakes are great.
What do you think that they miss? Sometimes it feels like there's something that they don't quite capture, and I don't know exactly what it is. Sometimes the remake
nostalgia.
Man, I don't know, man. I can't even put my finger on what.
Because I think it's nostalgia, really. Some of these movies don't look as impressive as what obviously you're doing nowadays.
If you rewatch them, that was the thing with Pacific Rim. I wanted to make the movie for a new generation of kids. I wanted the 10-year-olds now to see Pacific Rim and feel what I felt back then.
Right.
It was not an exercise in nostalgia. It was, I would say, reinterpretation, if you want, or passing the torch to a new generation.
Sure. You could definitely see the monsters. They were influenced by the monsters of the 60s. Watching them, they were very strange looking. Yeah. Sometimes you couldn't really get a grasp on what they even were. This one's half lobster.
Yes.
It was. It really did, and it conjured up those memories of watching old monster movies like that.
There's a great anecdote about the first Godzilla, which is 1954.
Oh yeah.
Wow. The director
with Raymond Burr, when they threw him in
the American version.
Yeah.
But the director, Ishiro Honda, called everybody into his kitchen before starting the movie, and he said, "I'm making a movie. We're making this movie for real. We're not being funny about it. We're not. It's not. Everybody take it seriously." And that's the way we went on Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
There was no postmodern wink. All these things are funny. We were doing it for real. We were doing it to be an exciting, seriously entertaining.
It was good. You felt like there was that element of impending danger and doom was there, and the
fun,
heroics and stuff. It was I watched that and went like, wow, that was really fun to watch.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Man.
What's your least favorite? Did you have a least favorite horror or creature that you just couldn't quite get into?
You mean
when you were a kid? Yeah.
I have the most brotherly love for monsters. I love crappy monsters. I love
even the crappy ones.
Sometimes the most charming ones are the crappy ones. Yeah. The ones that they look like they need your help. They're so crappy.
The poor thing, you kind of feel bad for them.
That poor giant clawed alien needs my help. You do feel like that.
That's funny.
And your book is a really interesting, giant, beautiful book, and it's called it's called Cabinet of Curiosities: My Notebooks, Collections, and Other Obsessions. What exactly is it? These are all just notes you've made.
These have all my notebooks from all my movies. These are my notebooks. I draw in them. This is for Pacific Rim. These are
your actual drawings?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
You know how to draw.
There.
So that's my handwriting, my drawings, and it also includes my collection, which is in 2005. I was hanging a picture of I collect original art and artifacts and props and books and all that. And my wife said, "You can hang that in there in the kitchen." And I thought, I spent my entire life as a kid under my mother, and now my wife is telling me what I can and cannot do. Yep. So I said, "Look, you know what? I'm going to buy my own house." So I went and bought my own house, and
that's what Jimmy's going to have to do.
It's 10,000 square feet of collection, some of it which is in the book.
Wow.
But, basically what I do is I live with my wife and my daughters. Every day in the morning I go to my own house. And
That's awesome.
I spend the day in my house.
Right.
And I can do whatever I want in my house.
Right.
Hang whatever monster picture, whatever. And the funny thing is, It took me 40-something years to live the way I thought I should live at age 10.
Now, that's an amazing... What is something you collected that you absolutely love? A piece of movie memorabilia?
I have truly... It's a museum. And if you browse through the book, you'll see it. I mean, it's really quite an amazing collection. And I have... basically, what I do with every check, when I make any money, I immediately give my wife half, and I said, we'll share the expenses on the house, and the other half don't ask me anything. I'm gonna do whatever, and you cannot tell me how much did that monster cost, how much did this. The house has secret passages.
Wow, really?
2 secret passages. Has one room that is called the rain room, which is a room that is rigged to have a fake outside where there's a thunderstorm 24 hours a day.
This is great.
We're looking at right now. There's a
love
room,
this.
a beautiful wood room with you can see the upstairs balcony with a giant Frankenstein head on it, and there's I don't recognize the
Hellboy monster.
The Hellboy monster. Sorry, underneath on the ground, and there's a regular nice rug that every house should have, and there's just creatures all over. And
there's 560 pieces of original art, all fantastic art.
Just up on this one landing, I'm seeing you got Geiger over here, and then Hellboy.
Those are originals.
And then what's the Pinhead girl here?
From Freaks.
From Freaks, yeah.
I live. What I wanted to do as a kid is live with my heroes of horror. And if you turn the page, that's H.P. Lovecraft, a horror writer that I admired as a kid. I had him made life size. So he lives in the house with me.
Like a wax museum type of...
but they're all around. Like there's a dwarf with a razor blade at the end of a corridor. I call him my alarm system.
Wow. I got to ask you about your other house, though. How boring is the other house?
Entirely vanilla.
Really?
Like there's nothing that indicates I'm there.
Do you have people come here?
I give tours once a week.
He doesn't like people in his house. This is your space. People would try touching shit and wrecking it.
No. I'm very careful.
I bet.
I was fortunate. I was blessed with 2 daughters, which means they're very careful. If I had a boy, half of my collection
trying to play with everything. Yeah.
What is this crack?
Yeah. Does your wife go to the other house?
She comes now and then, and
I love this.
I get the occasional conjugal visit. But in reality, is they're separate, and
So you guys have an understanding, obviously. It's your thing, and you really are into it, and
100%.
She lets you do it.
People, normal people go to work at 9 a.m., come back at 5. I do the same. I mean, I live with my wife and my daughters, but
that's kind of going to the office. Instead of the office, you go to your house. It's
Do you work in this place?
I work
there.
Oh,
that's your work.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere, I'm sure.
That's where I write. That's where I design the movies.
Do you ever get creeped out? Not creeped out, but turn around and go, something's there?
There was. I've had a few ghost experiences.
Really?
In my life, for real. I'm a skeptic. People think I believe all this crap.
Right.
I don't. I'm normally a skeptic. That's me at age 10.
Well, give us
I bought 2 cabinets from the 15th century, and they arrived to the house, and they came with a ghost. And
really?
The house was sort of haunted for about a year and a half until I had a cleansing done.
But you had a cleansing done?
I had
Was it too much? What were they doing?
The lights would be turned on and off, footsteps. I just did, and now I stay there. I mean, I stay there sometimes until 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I didn't like being creeped out.
Yeah, of course.
The cleansing worked?
Yes.
It did.
Wow.
My mother did it. My mother is sort of a white witch.
You're a fascinating man.
Yeah, what an interesting life you have.
Oh my God, I love it.
How far is your house from your other house?
About 5 minutes. A 5-minute drive.
A 5-minute drive?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't be like, I'm in L.A. and my house is in New York.
No.
Do you sleep in this house once in a while?
Now, when I come back, right now we're shooting in Toronto. I'm shooting the pilot for a horror series for FX. Based on my books, The Strain, and when I go back to LA, I don't go back to the family house. I go back to my monsters.
Right.
And my wife and daughter stay in Toronto. I go back, and
Does your wife check up on you? Sure, he likes monsters.
I'm too freaky to do anything.
This is your internet porn.
Great.
This is your internet.
This is it, man. This is it.
This is your obsession.
I want to go to this house and look around.
Great,
this is fantastic.
man.
What's the address of the house? So we can stop by and
the coordinates. No, what is great about the house is, honestly, I walk in and I have a smile instantly.
Yeah.
You know, because you are when you're a kid, you're very particular about your room. You know, every kid has the sign on the door, keep out. Right outside the room. It's basically that. It's a space where no one can tell you what to do.
Well, let me tell you a little personal story, Guillermo. Not to the extent that you have done.
Yeah.
But I was laughed at relentlessly at the beginning of the summer because I decided I wanted to buy a life-size Velociraptor to put out by my jacuzzi.
Why not?
I did it, and people laughing. Oh, what the hell you doing? It looks great. It looks cool. The steam comes up from the jacuzzi. You put on a red light, and you're having a little jacuzzi in Jurassic Park. And everyone laughs, but then when they come over, they're snapping pictures with it like crazy. So they want a picture with it.
100%. In the book, there is, my car. When I was a kid, I saw this movie called The Car with James Brolin, a horror movie where the car was the devil. A great design by Chuck Barris, who designed the Batmobile. Fell in love with it. I said, I'm gonna own that car. I own that car.
You own the car from the car.
I had it made. Handmade in Mexico in steel. It's like a tank. It's in the book.
No doubt.
But I think that all you can do is live the way you want to live.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, you have nothing.
I remember that movie, but I was getting it confused with Duel for a minute. Duel with the truck.
They are the two scariest cars in the history of film.
Yeah.
But this
Dennis Weaver. He was good in that.
But that car goes like, had like a very scary horn.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about your Velociraptor, I take the car only on Sundays because it's too expensive. If I go Burbank and back, is one tank.
Oh,
each way.
Because it
so
weighs
heavy.
a ton. Yeah, a ton more
so
than a ton.
I take it around the block, go buy ice cream, like an old man,
That's great.
And people are snapping pictures. Can I take a picture of your car? And I'm so happy.
This is the life you're supposed to lead when you're a successful guy.
And
I love it.
That notebook, he opened it up briefly. It's really cool.
It's beautiful.
Dude, you know what it reminded me of when you open it?
It really is.
It looks like Indiana Jones' father's notebook for the Holy Grail.
It is. It started like very much like that, like a field notebook. And then I have 3 of them right now, and they turned into this.
That it's got a kind of a Lord of the Rings look to it there.
They are all the notebooks that I bought in Venice in 1997, and they were handmade. And
that's great. Yeah, leather and stuff.
Yeah. Are those notebooks? Is it one per movie, or do you just keep going until it's done?
No. They are mixed. Like for example, the section that I seal off is sealed off because I have designs from The Hobbit. When I was in charge of directing that movie, and I can't allow them to be seen or this and that.
Yeah.
So I seal them with my little band.
It's one rubber band. It's keeping the secrets from the Hobbit.
It is low key, low tech.
No,
it works.
You can't lose a thumb drive or anything. It's your notebook. And
there's no way they can hack into the rubber band.
The notebook. Hack into a rubber band.
Let's grab it. Look over there for a second.
I
got to ask you about your father. He was kidnapped.
Oh, yeah, 98.
Wow.
He was in Mexico?
Yeah, he was in Mexico. He was 72 days. They kept him.
72 days?
Wow. Was it a cartel?
No, it was the kidnapping. The way the kidnappings are run is they're basically run like franchises. Wow. So one person can run 2 or 3 kidnappings and run them like convenience stores. They call. They have a guy that picks up the victim, a guy that negotiates. It was back then in '98. It was just a business. Now it's rampant. Now it's all sort of melded into one single crime. The guys that do the kidnapping, do the organ traffic, do the drug peddling, everything.
So they kidnapped you down. You got a phone call and said,
"Oh, we got many phone calls, yeah."
And you knew it was true immediately.
Oh yeah. No, the first phone call I got was my older brother called and said, "Better come home." He said they took him. He didn't say anything else, and I knew what it was instantly. I didn't need an explanation.
Where did they get him?
They got him outside his business. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
And was it random?
No, they planned it for. Those things are planned carefully, and a lot of the time they need to know where they're picking him up, what time he arrives.
I'm sure they want to know if you have money too. At that point,
they do the background.
Yeah,
and they do the check with finances. It's a business.
Wow.
They don't want to invest.
So they got him. And then you get the call, and what's the process then? You have to get the money together, or do you try to negotiate? Or
I tell you this, there's only one time where 3/4 of the way Hollywood got it right. There's a movie called Proof of Life with Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. 3/4 of the way, if you can imagine, instead of Meg Ryan, a fat Mexican, and instead of Russell Crowe, an old English guy. That's the way it is. You have to bring a negotiator. The negotiator has to guide you through it because there's a whole protocol. If you do it on your own, you're going to screw it up.
What's something that somebody would do on their own that the negotiator would protect you from?
Look at Jerry Lundegaard.
Everything you do instinctively is wrong.
Really, like what?
There's a whole protocol. For example, if you know your limit and you immediately declare it and you say that's what I can get, you're telling them how much you can get now. So they're gonna run the negotiation for longer. To give you an example, we said we can only get X, which was a fraction of what they were asking for. But that told them if they can get X the second day we called. That means if we wait for 72 days.
Oh, man, they're going to be able to scrape up
10
more.
10 times that. Yeah. Wow. But instinctively, you give it your all because you want him back.
Yeah,
so It's a really... I don't recommend it.
Man, right?
So was he taken care of for 72 days, more or less?
Well, you know, my dad is, I'm sure, like your dad, it's a generation that doesn't talk.
Oh, Jesus, Opie.
It's a generation that doesn't like to chat about life.
Yeah.
He's a self-made man.
Right, so he doesn't talk about it, really, what happened.
Like my dad and I, we can go, yep, for 2 hours. But basically that's, and I don't see him for 3 years, and then we go, yep. How are you? Good.
Did he get security after that?
You know, he did for a while, but now he jokes about it, but it's true. He says, I'm too old for that. I mean, like, they won't kidnap him because he could croak.
Yeah, there's a problem.
There's a problem. I mean, they only kidnap people that they can keep.
Do you worry when you go to Mexico about...
I take precautions.
Yeah, okay.
You have to, right? Nowadays.
I have to, especially because in my line of business, people assume... Let's say that a movie, Pacific Rim, made $400 million.
That you have $400 million.
People think he must have at least 50. Not true. Not true. You have to move the decimal points a few.
Yeah. That's fascinating, man. Wow.
That is really scary.
What a monkey wrench to throw into someone's life.
So you don't like going down to Mexico, I would assume.
Do I like? I love going.
But I wish you would.
I have to go with precautions.
Sure.
Yeah. I cannot go casually.
And you're not going to film there anymore, I
can't. That's the biggest loss for me is family life. And the fact that I would love to continue filming Mexican film.
All the rabble in Toronto, let me tell you, that's dangerous living right there. You might sleep yourself to death.
No, it's such a great life right now. I mean, I enjoy it.
I actually like Canada.
I adore Toronto.
It's a lot of fun up there. We were in Montreal.
It is.
Had a blast.
We have to plug a book.
Yes, please. It's great.
Book signing is tonight, November the 4th, obviously, 7 o'clock. It's a big one in Union Square. There's a big Barnes & Noble.
One of the last.
One of the last ones. Yeah, the bookstores are going away.
It's a big one.
Huge. It's where all the major book signings are done here in New York. And this is a beautiful book. It's got notes in it. It's
we spent 3.5 years making the book.
So many.
It looks like it.
Great pictures, photographs, and artwork in
stories behind everything about all the movies.
That's my car.
Oh,
That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
That's great. Looks almost like a Rolls-Royce.
It is like the evil twin of a Phantom.
Yeah. That's gorgeous. And you're directing The Hobbit.
Wow. I was prepping The Hobbit for 2 years as director. And we had so much delays that I left, and obviously Peter and Philippe and Fran saw the movie to completion, and Peter directed it beautifully. But I was so happy being part of it. I'm part of the screenplay.
Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not preparing for the next.
No.
You're preparing
Peter directed them. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next installment.
Coming up.
Great anticipation.
Is that directed already?
The second one? Yeah.
The Solution of Smog.
I didn't realize that. I thought they were working on it.
No.
Yeah, Dragon opens his eyes and we all get shut out.
What the heck? Credit time.
Now sit and wait, you bastards.
Yeah, for a year.
Yeah.
That's just mean.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Just me.
It goes back though to something we were talking about earlier with the movies, and you knew you weren't going to see them again on television and stuff. When a movie came out and then you heard there was going to be a sequel, that was amazingly exciting. I remember Planet of the Apes, and then Beneath the Planet of the Apes was coming out, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Those were my Star Wars.
Oh yeah, yes, amazing, right?
We were there opening day.
Yep.
And I was of the right age where Beneath the Planet of the Apes struck me even harder than Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I wonder what that was all about.
Those bald, creepy bastards worshiping the bomb.
Yeah.
It was so fucking edgy for that.
That was kind of creepy, and then Charlton Heston buying it at the end was kind of weird, you know,
very weird.
Kill him off like that.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert! 1968 or whatever the hell.
For those that they would have trouble catching up. There you are.
But that was a movie that had one of those amazing reveals at the end, Planet of the Apes, with of course the Statue of Liberty and stuff. That was because if you just walked into that movie and didn't know, you didn't know
at all
until the end. You were fooled.
No, and that was what was great, and I'm not nostalgic about it, but what was great about media being so subdued back then is that you didn't know.
You didn't know.
You didn't know
right.
this thing. It's like me when I go to a sports movies. I don't know because I'm a fat slob. I have no idea. I went to see Ron Howard's Rush.
Right.
Yeah. And my wife knew more about car racing than me. She was like, wait until this happens. I go, is it gonna happen? I said, I hope he does all right. He said, you don't know? What kind of man are you?
I don't know. Yeah, what kind of man are you? Like, shut up! I'm going back to my monster house.
I have no. My only sport is cappuccino lifting. I do nothing else. I can press 500. You know.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, you're brilliant.
I got to tell you,
absolutely.
what a pleasure having you.
Great.
Thank you.
I love that you have a monster house.
Yeah.
Big fan.
It's two of them now.
Oh, now you got a second one.
I bought the second house next door, and the neighbors think I do porn because all the windows are blacked.
Yeah.
So they think they say, is it true that you? I was taking the trash out, and they said, is it true that you're a porn producer? I said, no.
No, I'm a director.
Only a monster. Monster porn.
You had to get a second house for your collection.
I was watching vigilantly the neighbors, and I was keeping track of what was going on. And right when I saw their kid moving to college, I knock on the door, and I go, hey, I'm your next door neighbor. I was thinking I was telling them. They said, as a matter of fact, we were putting the house off next week.
Wow.
So I logged out.
Wow.
Buys both houses next. That's fantastic.
That's
man.
awesome.
Guillermo del Toro, again, thanks so much for coming in.
Pleasure.
Very fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we're done for today, too.
Yes,
so.
sir.
Oliver Stone tomorrow.
Yes.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. This is After Opie and Anthony Live. Here's your host, Sam Roberts.
Here we are. How great was Guillermo del Toro, huh? It's so good when you see somebody who's managed to make millions and millions of dollars just being into his weirdo hobby. He's got a house full of monsters. That's like the dream come true for every little kid. Every little boy who never found girls. Because you get to a point in school where it's like, either you're going to find girls or not. And you discover girls, but you realize quickly they're not there to discover you. So, you can try in vain to do something about it, or you can find your own hobbies. I think most of the guys around here spent most of high school into hobbies. Roland, were you a pussy magnet in high school?
Let me tell you how much pussy I got.
How much?
None.
None. So what did you do?
I dressed up as action heroes.
All right. In high school?
Yeah, well, yeah, still. I phased out in like my sophomore year.
You phased out around sophomore year. So what action heroes?
Well, I like Bruce Willis and Die Hard movies and that.
You dressed up as Bruce Willis from Die Hard in like sophomore year of high school?
Yeah, they had like contests, like dress up as like your hero day.
Did anybody actually participate?
No, I didn't realize it was a joke, but me and my three friends were like, hey, we're going to dress up like our action heroes.
Uh-huh.
And we were the laughing stock of
You
that
were.
day.
So it was you as John McClane.
Yeah.
What were your friends?
My buddy was Luke Skywalker. The other one was Darth Vader.
Darth Vader?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Eric, did you see any Darth Vader costumes? You have a house now. Did you have any trick-or-treaters dressed as Darth Vader?
No, I barely got any trick-or-treaters this year.
Why is that?
My block didn't get a lot of attention, I guess.
Is it because they knew somebody was eating all the candy already?
That's not true.
I'm just asking. And I didn't say who it was. I didn't say you.
I purposely bought a lot of chocolate and peanut butter so I wouldn't eat it.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you just sit there snacking from the bowl all night?
Oh, yeah.
No, I hear that.
You live in the city, so you don't do trick-or-treaters.
Yeah, the building does.
Oh, so all the kids who live in the building come up?
Yeah.
Did they?
Oh, yeah. I just buy the big boxes of the big candies.
They get scared of you at all?
No.
How do you treat trick-or-treaters? Because you are somebody who is odd with social interactions.
I mess with them. I go, if you scream in the next trick-or-treat, like if you scream in the next door, I'll give you these nice candies. If you don't, I give you the bad candies.
And what happens?
We'll go, yeah, we'll do it. The next day, knock,
Just causing a scene.
Makes me laugh.
I thought I was really cute. We were running out of candy. We did it at my wife's friend's house. And so the kids came and said, trick or treat. And I looked at them and said, trick. And they all looked like we weren't prepared for this outcome. We need treats.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I know, it wasn't cool. So I gave them some treats. But yeah, so that's what I mean. It's so great for Guillermo del Toro to come in and give all of us who sat there just paying more attention to monster magazines than girls hope that you could actually form a life.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have to develop a talent, I guess. You have to figure out, you have to be able to actually make badass movies. But if you can figure out how to make badass movies, then you can have the monster house you always dreamed of. Who didn't want a monster house growing up? Now Eric's coming in, and he's got to sell his toy collection. How far, are you any further along with that?
Yeah, I spent a good portion of the weekend itemizing things.
Sorting and itemizing?
Itemizing, taking photos, yes.
I think you should bring him in here, at least get him appraised by Toy Hunter.
No, because I know some of them are barely worth anything.
That's good then.
But why get them appraised if they're barely worth anything?
Well, we're not actually going to a service. We're going to do it on the air. And then he'd be like, yeah, all this stuff is worth bullshit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Or you can find something that's worth a couple $100. Like, what?
Right. You make some theater out of it, Eric. You create some human drama. That's why. Why does Toy Hunter exist as a television show? Because there's human drama to be found.
Or generated. Either one.
What? What does that even mean?
There's no real drama in toy hunting.
Yeah, there is.
You watch. You bring in some toys, and I'll get a toy hunter in here, and you'll watch that little guy jizz all over himself, and you'll tell me there's no human drama.
At Comic-Con, there's like his worshippers. I mean, people were like, I have toys. How much do they...
Dude, the room was full. Could you believe it?
Or the guy goes, I have this old collection of this toy. He goes, that's not worth anything, but the other toy is worth a lot. He was like, what?
I think you should bring in your toys that you're getting rid of anyway. And that way, we could all see the ridiculousness you have, but we'll bring in the toy hunter to appraise them or offer you money for them. I mean, so you don't have to go and put them on the internet and try to sell them on eBay and all that bullshit.
He might film it for an episode.
He might film it for an episode. Think big picture here, Nagel.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
What's about what?
See if I have anything that will even be interesting for him to turn down.
Who cares? It's on the radio show. We'll make it interesting. That's our job. That's my job.
All right, I'll see what I got.
All right. So you're going to bring it in when?
I don't know yet. Let me go through and see what I can.
Oh, my God. You Mr. Non-committal.
We should have who can bring some toys in.
He'll just bring in dildos.
I know.
Nick.
Hey, what's up, Primetime?
How's it going, buddy?
Hey, man, that was a great interview today.
Who knew Guillermo del Toro had so much to say?
Yeah, that was really fascinating to listen to him talk. Actually, what is the name of that book that he's coming out with?
Roland? Don't tell me you don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Who do I deal with in this room? Eric, do you know what the name of the book is?
Hold on. I got it.
Oh, my God. Nick, I'm sorry.
It's called...
I'm holding the walls up here on my own, buddy.
I have
Today,
the bag right here.
You have the bag.
Yeah,
Guillermo del Toro.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
What? Roland was just reading it. Why would you trample him so you could get the answer
I
out?
didn't hear him.
He wants to be on.
You have earphones on.
I didn't hear him speaking.
You son of a bitch.
He trampled you to try to so he could get his little credit in.
There you go.
You saw what happened, didn't you, Roland?
I'm thinking right now.
Creating drama.
Now, Roland.
Yes, sir.
If I could hear it from one person, what was the name of the book?
Eric, do you want to say?
Cabinet of Curiosities.
He did it again!
I know, because he has a tote bag.
He won't let you have the glory, will he? No. You were like, that was the moment for Eric to say, no, please, after you.
Actually, it's called Guillermo del Toro Cabinet of Curiosities, My Notebooks, Collections, and Other Obsessions.
My Notebook, Collections, and Other Obsessions. You could give us the subtitle too, Nagel.
You just gave us like part of the book.
Just a little bit of it. We need the whole title.
The quick hit.
It's not a quick hit. It's a great book. And he's signing it.
He draws a little picture of himself.
In Barnes & Noble. I don't know. Do you think he'll do that on every book he signs?
Nah.
It'd take forever.
Yeah. Probably the first few.
But of course, you know Guillermo del Toro. He did Pacific Rim, which we talked about on the show. That was a movie that we all kind of made fun of when we saw the trailers. And we were like, this is going to be terrible. And then Charlie Day came in here, and he goes, no, guys. It's awesome. It kicks ass. We're like, really? And I went to see it, and I was like, this is the most badass movie that I've seen in years. This is the way a monster movie was supposed to be done. It's not taking itself overly seriously. It's not doing anything that you don't want it to do. It's just a movie about a giant robot fighting giant space sea monster creatures. Yeah. And that's perfect. Did you see it?
No, yeah.
Oh, you got to.
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
You got to. Yeah, he did Pan's Labyrinth. He did all the Hellboy movies.
Then now Hobbit producing.
And this is based, and yeah, he's producer on the Hobbit. He was supposed to direct it, but then I guess what's his name?
Jackson decided to do them all.
Yeah, and they give it back to Peter Jackson. I don't know what he ever did. His dad didn't get kidnapped. Once your dad gets kidnapped, you should be able to direct the Hobbit movies.
Yeah, they should remember he did King Kong. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
saying,
Let's look past Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
What do we got?
King Kong.
Exactly.
A stinkeroo.
It's not Guillermo del Toro. He's got the franchise in Hellboy. He's got the Oscar movie like Pan's Labyrinth.
I mean, he creates those worlds.
And then he's got this ridiculous movie like Pacific Rim that just works. John in Texas.
Hey, what's up, boys?
What's up, buddy?
I wanted to ask you, Sam, why don't you go ahead and bring in some of your nice and cool wrestling action figures, and that way you and Nagel can both get down on that toy collector.
I would, but I'm not at the point where I'm selling anything yet.
I would have said you have to sell it, man. Maybe just get an idea, get it appraised, to create some drama.
I guess, but then I'm just bringing toys in for the sake of bringing in toys. The whole point was that Erik announced last week that he's selling a big part of his toy collection. And that's a big deal because Erik and his toy collection has been talked about for so long. That's the whole point. Oh, my God. It's like brain surgery with some of these people around here today,
Roland. They just want to
get
closer to you, Sam, to know you.
There's nothing to know. Why? This is a simple premise. It's the easiest, most basic radio premise there's ever been. And you're giving me grief about it, and the callers don't understand what's going on. All I can count on here is Roland today.
Well, your wife did say have an action figure of yours.
I don't know what you're talking about now, Roland. My wife said you could have an action figure?
You're wrestling action figures. She said pick one and take one home.
Well, I guess what she says goes. Ryan in Ohio.
You say you'll kill me if I take one.
Hey, Sam, for one, your interns are idiots. I kept saying 3 times, I've asking if you had watched Ender's Game, and they kept saying, what? What?
Who's on the phones? Was it a boy or a girl?
It was a girl.
Oh, poor Nikki.
She said it kept breaking up. She couldn't hear him.
I don't believe that. No, I
It's
didn't.
like the biggest movie this weekend, the Ender's Game, and I was wondering if you watched it or not.
I did not see it yet. I thought it was going to be shitty, and so I wasn't going to go see it, but now I see it's the #1 movie of the weekend. It's the big, Ender's Game is the big Harrison Ford movie. Roland's a giant Harrison Ford fan, but no, why? Did you see it?
Oh, yes, it is. If you like Gravity, imagine Gravity meets like Lord of the Flies type of thing.
Meets Lord of the Flies? That sounds terrific. Little kids killing each other in space?
Well, there is best scenes done by kids, yes.
That's pretty good.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
I don't want to give too much of it away.
Well, there's only one kid in the movie, the main kid, so you get.
Is there only one kid, or are there kid battles?
There are kid battles.
All right, I'm looking for kid battles, Roland. All right, thanks, Ryan. You haven't seen it obviously yet either, Roland.
No, probably see it this week then.
Yeah.
What's up? You're not a big fan of like when a movie comes out the opening weekend when people spoil it, right? You want to give it a little time before you decide to see it, or the audience, right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Without giving anything away.
Did you see it?
No,
Oh.
but I saw an article up here. Entertainment Weekly on Saturday already did.
Why?
Because they didn't understand the ending, so they gave away the entire ending, and then they're like, does this make any sense to you?
And everybody, responded to the article by saying, no, it doesn't make sense. I haven't seen it yet,
Yeah,
Dick.
a lot of people in the comments saying, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Really?
We haven't seen this.
What do the comments say?
I don't have it open. I'll get it.
So Entertainment Weekly reviews Ender's Game, which came out this weekend. It was the big movie. It's the Harrison Ford movie that apparently, according to Ryan on the phone, is full of little kid battles in space. Any movie where kids are fighting each other is a great movie to me. That's why I was so disappointed in Hunger Games. Not enough kids fighting. Too much of the romance, too much Jennifer Lawrence falling in love, too much Twilighty stuff. There's a Japanese movie called Battle Royale. It's basically the same.
You were telling me about that.
Yes, it's basically the same thing as the Hunger Games, except it's just Japanese kids fighting each other for the whole movie.
That's badass.
And they get put on an island, and they each get a weapon, and it's totally random. And one of them has like a semi-automatic machine gun, and one of them has a frying pan. And they just got to survive. Only one kid gets to survive the island. Everybody else dies.
That's awesome.
Awesome movie. So tell me, I guess Ender's Game is like that, except Harrison Ford is there, and the kids fight in space. So don't give me the ending yet, Eric, because unlike Entertainment Weekly, and that's the publication this happened in?
Yeah, it's on their website.
Unlike Entertainment Weekly.
We don't like Sam's voice, but we'll give away the
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, we don't like Sam's voice. We don't mind isolating our audience completely from us, but we don't like the kid's voice.
We'll give away the multi-million-dollar movie ending.
Right. But the kid who's already on the radio, no, his voice just isn't going to cut it. Okay, good choice. So what's this?
A lot of those comments have been removed.
Of course.
Now they're removing comments?
Because what's here now are this movie did not give enough justice to the book. This should have been an HBO miniseries. I agree. There's not going to be any sequels. This one's laying out how the movie's not going to the franchise is dead because it's already a bomb.
But it's not a bomb. It's #1 movie in the country.
No, I'm just telling you what the comments say.
Who said that? What's his username?
Fishnets.
Fishnets.
He posted on Saturday. There won't be any sequels because this is already a bomb. Under $30 million for opening weekend.
More like fish brains.
Or fish turds.
That's right, Roland. More like fish turds. It's November 1st. It's not like it's a May opening.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a big Labor Day movie. It's November 1st weekend.
And this will probably do really well on demand and Blu-ray when it comes out too.
Well, I would think that being #1, even though 30 million sounds okay to me for November, and being #1 is still #1. It's not like
it'll help the second week. People go, I'll go see it.
Exactly, like I just said when I was coming, and I said I wasn't going to go see this movie, but now it's #1. I thought it stunk. It's like Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Like when I saw the trailers, I was like, I don't know if I want to see Sons of Anarchy jump in a robot and fight a Godzilla. That sounds stupid. And then my buddy was like, no, we got to go see it. And so I went, and I was like, this fucking thing kicks ass. Maybe Ender's Game kicks ass too. I didn't realize.
Third paragraph in this article here, he breaks down the entire ending, all the twists that are in it, and then says none of this makes any sense.
When did the article get published?
November 2nd.
So that was what? Saturday?
That was Saturday.
It just came out on Friday.
Yeah.
People read Entertainment Weekly as like their source of news, right?
Yeah, and they had it up on Huffington Post too, with the entertainment. It's like, what's with the twist linking to this? And even they're saying, it's like, give the movie a chance. It just opened.
And like you'd think, and this is the scumbags that are writing articles at Entertainment Weekly, instead of reading the comments and being like, oh shit, I didn't realize we were spoiling this movie for all of our readers that are not going here for spoilers. They're just going here for the basics, like, they're going here for the Ryan Seacrest version of entertainment news. Nothing offensive, nothing questionable, just the bare bones and easily digestible. When they realize that they've spoiled this movie for everybody, instead of going, oh, let's take down the article and write a different one that doesn't spoil it, instead they just go and they go into the comments and they delete the ones that are complaining.
Yeah, there was a couple this morning, but
Don't
now
worry.
it's back.
Sam Roberts is on the channel. His voice annoys people.
So before anybody gets offended.
Do you think EW kind of screwed themselves with whoever the studio is for this movie as well? Like, they may have hated this movie and they gave out the ending the day after it opened, but that company's still going to have more movies that they're going to have to review and interact with.
Yeah, you would. I mean, I don't know. Are people up in arms that was this a big twist that they gave away?
I don't know the story, and I haven't seen it, but reading the article here, it's pretty weird.
At the end of the day, I don't think a studio can be mad that they covered the ending of a movie that's already out in the theaters, but people can be.
But it's the day after it opened.
We could have made more if you didn't release the ending.
You think they would?
Because some people go, I already know the ending.
Oh, so I guess
catch
they'll
on TV.
I guess they'll sit there and they'll see what the box office is like the next 2 weekends, and then if it's low, they're going to blame AEW.
That's the way.
That's bullshit.
That's the way I would do it.
So, yeah, because why blame yourself, right?
Of course, I did it my best. This
Look.
asshole gave out the ending.
We had a great ending. Unfortunately, everybody knew it because of this Dick's article. Ray in Kentucky.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
I haven't seen the movie, but I'm a fan of the book. Okay, so Ender's Game, it's an entire series of books. If you've ever read the books, don't waste your money. It just ruins it. I took 2 people with me to the movie that did not read the book, and they were not enthused.
I never even heard of this book. I've never heard of the premise. I've never heard of any of it. Is it little kids fighting each other in the middle of space?
Yes.
Then that sounds awesome to me. I had no idea. Why wouldn't they properly promote this movie? Why wouldn't they just put on the trailer, hey, do you like Harrison Ford? Do you like little kids fighting each other? Would you like it if it was in the middle of space?
Or they go, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, in space.
Right. If you
Kids
said
fighting.
yes to 2 or more of these questions, come see Ender's Games.
Yeah, but they took out like 90% of the kids fighting in space.
What?
That if you read the books, 90% of the fights don't happen in a movie.
Yeah, but you know what? This is Hollywood. I would think when you have the opportunity to make a movie about kids fighting in space, you need to cram in as much kids fighting as possible. It's the same thing Hunger Games did. I don't know if we want to see the kids fighting the whole time. We need more Lenny Kravitz scenes. What are you talking about? Lenny Kravitz isn't fighting any kids.
There was one that's the book versus the movie. There's one-on-one combat that in the book the guy's 6 foot tall and the other guy's almost.
All right, I lost you.
Saved by AT&T. The bug.
You just don't like Southern people.
Well, he didn't sound like he read the book. He said, I read the book.
You think he doesn't sound like he read the book because he's got a Southern accent?
Correct.
That's unfair, Roland. That's generalizing is what that is.
Well, the book.
Michael in NYC.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good.
I agree with you with the movie
Battle Royale.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because when the first scene, basically when they bring all those kids into the classroom, and the one kid stands up and he disagrees with the teacher and he blows his brains out. I mean, that to me was the premise of like how the movie's going to go along. Now, the Hunger Games disappointed me because what it is they're trying to cater to the teenagers, so they have to make it almost like a G-rated flick.
Yeah, it was like Twilight-y.
Well, I mean, they have to make money, so they're not going to sit there and make it an R-rated movie. It's all about the cash.
So how come Japanese people are okay seeing kids like?
Yeah, because flicks like that, Korean made or Japanese made, it doesn't make a difference. Just like in England, they show boobs on regular TV, and they won't do that in America.
If Jim Florentine and Bob Levy had a child, you would sound that's exactly what your voice would be.
That's what Anthony tells me all the time.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, like, Jaws was a great book, a lousy movie.
You didn't like the movie Jaws? I think that a lot of people would disagree.
No, you have to read the book because
I'm not going to read the book. I can't see the shark if I read the book.
I read the movie, and I love the movie.
Yeah, Jaws is one of the most beloved movies of all time.
No. It
All right.
sucked. I mean,
Sam, did you read the Godfather book? It's so much
I don't know what.
better.
You got to hang up on Michael. You just lost me. You had me, and then you completely lost me.
Book snobs. Oh, the book's much better.
Yeah, but the book of Jaws?
I want to try to think of a scene. I just want to click on the TV. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, if you're talking about Lord of the Flies, if you're talking about Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, if you're talking about books, but Jaws the book, I didn't know Jaws was a book. I mean, I'm not the most educated person in the world.
But still, though, it was awesome, the movie.
Jaws? Yeah. Yes, I don't think that's disputable. Brent in D.C.
Hey, what's up, boys? How you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, I got this whole thing. I think this could take off. Do you remember bum fights back in the day?
Yeah, of course I do. It's where they would a guy would take a video camera and he'd pay homeless people small amounts of money to get into fights with each other and then film them, and then he'd sell the DVDs, and I'd buy them at Sam Goody.
Exactly right. Now, what I'm thinking is we do bum fights, but juvenile edition, where they like fight over Tonka trucks and dolls and maybe candy.
But I would want it if we're gonna do that. I need to make sure that they're homeless, and I want to dress them up like the kids in Oliver Twist. Like I would want like
Newsies.
yeah, I would want like Newsies. I would want old English street urchins.
Well, that goes without saying, but then the women gets to go to like a really shitty foster care system where, you know, they're just kind of abused and treated like shit for the rest of their life.
Of course, he'd end up
TV show.
He'd end up living with Fagin, and he'd teach him how to pick pockets. Yeah, I mean, I don't need all the backstory. Like I said, I think you're already overthinking this. I think when you've got kids battling each other, there's no reason to complicate things by adding extra storylines in. I want to see old English newsy kids beating the shit out of each other. I would watch that.
Fair enough. You're the creative one.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Like Oliver Twist style stuff?
That's it. I would want the Artful Dodger choking Oliver Twist out with the scarf he wears.
Beating him with a tin cup?
Yes. Yes.
Here's your more.
That's exactly right. Shoving a bowl of gruel right down his face. His stupid British face. You know that bell? One boy for sale. Just right across his cheekbone.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Ding!
Would have a good sound effect.
Thank you. Larry.
Sam Roberts, professional broadcaster. How are you, bud?
Now that I'm talking to you, great, Larry. How are you?
I'm feeling fine as frogs here, but the call screener this morning said I was Wayne, and I didn't realize the guys were coming to me and sit and listen to them say, "Where's Wayne?" on the phone like I was a dumbass.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. You know, those missed opportunities are the ones that'll haunt you.
I know, and they do, too, because I would have told them I get punished for what I say. All I got to do is say, "Sam, you the man." There's always consequences.
So talk to me about Ender's Games.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen the movie. I read all the books, and Andrew Wiggin, they named him Ender. He killed a child when he was in kindergarten or first grade, which was identified for battle school. And in battle school, he killed another child in the shower who was a leader of a rival army who had ganged up on him to actually physically beat him and kill him in the shower.
Is this Ender's Games, or is this the HBO series Oz? Because I've seen Oz.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Games.
Ender's Game.
Okay.
Yeah, and he realized as an adult that he'd actually killed those children. It was hushed up. I mean, there was no repercussions for him killing the children, but it was a psychological...
He didn't know he killed the kids?
Not as a child, he didn't know he killed the children. As he got to be an adult, and after he, was fighting the bug army, the Formics...
All right, you're going way over my head already. Look, I just need to know that in this movie there's kids going to battle school in space. Is that true?
I mean, but he had to have the psychological effect that everything depended on him. He could count on no one else. His brother was a psychopath. His older brother, Peter, was a psychopath.
Well, that, I would think, would benefit you going to battle school in space.
Well, they have to have something for drama, but the author, Orson Scott Card, he talked about how many offers he turned down to make a movie of this book until he had full creative control and it would be done properly.
So he thinks it's done properly. A lot of people don't. Thank you, Larry.
No, but Sammy, thank you, and you the man, buddy. Great interview with Alyssa Milano yesterday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yes, interviews with Alyssa Milano and Jessica Lange were on the Sam Roberts show over the weekend.
How was Jessica Lange?
And now that's up. It will be up on demand later today. She was amazing. She was fantastic. Much better than I expected, to tell you the truth. I didn't really know what to expect, but you know her from American Horror Story.
Did you talk to her about King Kong?
No, I didn't talk to her about King Kong. I talked to her about American Horror Story, and I talked to her about Cape Fear. Because I loved that fucking movie. And people forget about Cape Fear. Scorsese's got so much shit going on that people forget about Cape Fear all the time.
His new one looks awesome.
The Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Comes out at Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Does it look better than Ender Games?
Different, because it takes place on Wall Street, not in space.
Do they go to space at some point in the film?
But they fight.
Children?
No. Each other.
Who? With Leonardo DiCaprio?
I think Leo McConaughey.
Leonardo DiCaprio versus Matthew McConaughey in a street fight?
McConaughey.
I would want... Yeah, I think Matthew McConaughey because he's nuts. Because like any guy...
He'll fight dirty.
And yeah, any guy that would show up that's just sitting in his house smoking pot and playing the bongos naked for hours on end, he can win a street fight.
All right.
Exactly. That's what he says right after the fight. But I would much rather see Matthew McConaughey fight a kid then fight Leonardo DiCaprio.
I know.
And that's a lesson that we can all learn from Ender's Games. I meant to tell you, the reason that you're going to hate Steven Singer. Everybody talks about, I hate Steven Singer. And then you hear the website, and they hear about this guy, and everybody goes, Sam, why do you always talk about I hate Steven Singer? Well, the reasons that you're going to hate Steven Singer come in many colors this holiday season. That's right, many colors of diamonds. Whoa. Steven Singer has a brand new collection of colored diamonds starting at just $249. I can't wait till Who Kid hears about this. I wonder what color he's going to want. Choose from sky blue diamonds, green diamonds, yellow diamonds, black diamonds, there they are, and more. No matter which color or size you pick, you'll come out the hero. Never the zero again, ladies and gentlemen. You have to get the woman in your life a gift. You want it to be a great gift. The more you procrastinate in buying her a holiday present, the guiltier that you're going to feel. The guiltier you feel, the bigger the present you'll buy. So here's some advice. Check out Steven's new selection of colored diamonds now. These are really different. Gifts like the sky blue diamond circle necklace or the sunshine yellow diamond circle necklace start at just $249. Go see the entire collection of colored diamonds online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping. So take my advice and get the woman in your life a great gift. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. 1-888-I-HATE-STEVEN-SINGER or online at IHateStevenSinger.com.
Did you hear Dr. Steve this weekend?
No.
His buddy John, who does the show with him,
yes,
was complaining about you doing your live reads during the after show.
Why?
Because you always sucker him in to the live reads being a conversation.
Look, what people need to realize is I don't do live reads on this show. Sometimes within conversation, certain products may come up. And that is what it is. There might be a guest in studio, and right along the line, we start talking about a product that we enjoy. It's the same reason you'll watch your favorite TV show, and a mention of a product. That's coincidence. That's not paid. I was watching House of Cards, the Netflix series, and this is not going into a Netflix
Orange
series.
Is the New Black?
But I was watching House of Cards over the weekend, and at one point, Kevin Spacey, he sits down on the couch, and he goes, "What's this, the new PlayStation Vita?" Yeah, I want to get one for my house. That wasn't a paid product. That was just Kevin Spacey being Kevin Spacey, right? Right. Same thing I'm doing.
And now Big A will tape this and rat us out to Dr. Steve because we talked about him.
Big A's the one who does that?
Every time.
What a son of a bitch. Yeah. I got a call from Dr. Steve, who does weird medicine here on this channel over every weekend, and he does a podcast over at Riotcast. He said, "Hey, Sam, I heard you said I was an asshole." I'm going, "What?" Yeah. I heard you said I was an asshole. It's okay, buddy. And I'm going, "What are you talking about?" I offhandedly and sarcastically, Jim said, "Do we have Dr. Steve on the phone?" Somebody says, "No, we couldn't get him." I go, "Oh, no. They go,
he was on I said because he was on vacation.
That's right, Eric. You go, "No, Dr. Steve's on vacation." And I go, "What an asshole." And so Big A, I guess, is the one.
That's the clip they played this weekend, too.
What the fuck? Big A is listening to, like, every word, and as soon as Dr. Steve's name comes up, he's got to, Sam called you an asshole. I was joking.
He's a rat.
He is a rat.
Yeah, he's taking pictures, videoing at the party.
That's right. He was the one who videoed Ant's last party.
Yeah, he's everywhere. Like, you're like, what? Like, he runs around.
Oh, Big A. We all know Big A. He's the one who's come in here and read the news many times before.
He's a gossip queen.
He loves information. Does he collect information, Eric?
I believe he does.
Oh, boy.
Big A is turning into Big Asshole.
Whoa! Big A-H.
Eric Sal would not have been happy if he went to Westchester with Sam. He was recognized again.
Well, yeah, we went to Ant's party together. I don't know if you heard the first hour of the show, but we were talking about Ant's party. My favorite part of the first hour of today's show was just a little offhandedly because Jim couldn't make it out to Ant's compound party this weekend because he was doing his comedy show. Him and Dice were at the Beacon Theater performing. And Jim telling the story of trying to watch Dice from the side of the stage and just looking out into the crowd and seeing Lady Di and Marion, who we've been talking about Lady Di a lot lately, the retarded Laverne and Shirley from this show. Lady Di and Marion are in the crowd while Dice is on stage, looking at Jim on the side of the stage, waving and going, "How are ya? How you doing?" So Jim can't watch from the side of the stage because retarded Laverne and Shirley are just sitting there causing a ruckus.
That's hilarious.
How are ya? While Dice is on stage, go, "Good. How are ya?" What are you looking at, ladies?
I wouldn't want to sit next to them.
There's a performer on stage. Can you imagine the poor sap that had to sit next to those two? But yeah, we went over to Ant's house, Roland and I, for his big Halloween party. Eric, this is the one you should have gone to. I've been to a few compound parties, and this one really did seem like one of the more ridiculous ones.
Yeah, it did seem like a lot of fun.
Roland, you were at the last one. I didn't make the summer party.
Yeah.
Was this Halloween party one of the more ridiculous ones you've seen?
Everything's contained inside. It's not outside.
Okay.
There's no pools. There's no fire or barbecue. Everything happened inside downstairs.
Everything's in a smaller space, so everybody starts mingling. Everybody starts doing weird shit. Roland, you would not believe. Roland, we were in the office doing some work on Friday, and I said, "Roland, let me drive you to Westchester. We'll hang out at my house. We'll play WWE 2K14. I'll beat you in like 7 ladder matches in a row, and then we'll drive to Ant's house." And he said, "Okay." And so we drove, and the minute we sat down in the car, Roland starts getting fluttery eyelids. And so I smacked him because I noticed it, because he didn't have to wake up early because we didn't have a show on Friday. So it's like he woke up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is now, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're on our way to Westchester, and he's got fluttery eyelids. So he's like, "Oh, I gotta send an email," and he takes his phone out and he starts typing this email. So I go, "Okay, well at least he'll remain conscious while he's typing the email." I shit you not. He finishes typing the email. I see him out of the corner of my eye, because I'm 10 and 2, both eyes on the road. But I see him out of the corner of my eye, puts his phone in his pocket. Within 10 seconds of putting his phone in his pocket, I hear, which is Roland's unhealthy version of snoring. 10 seconds after he put his phone in his pocket, Roland is out like a light. And then he would wake himself up from his snoring, and he'd go, "Oh, it's beautiful." And I go, "Yeah, Roland, we're almost there, huh?" And Roland, I didn't even tell you this, but twice you did stuff where you would wake up, you would say something, and you would fall asleep before I was finished my sentence. You go, "Oh, it's beautiful." And I go, "Jesus Christ, Roland, what time did you wake up this morning?" And I'd look over, and you were already back asleep. And I'd have to go, "Oh, okay. All right, then we're going." Eventually, I just started stopping short.
Yeah.
Like, just to wake him up. You go, "Ah!"
You scared me.
Before every exit on the highway, I would just jam on the brakes and watch Roland. Like, I started slow, and I saw Roland's entire round body just lean forward slowly in the seatbelt, and then I slammed the brake, and his little round head just pops up, and his eyes almost popped out of his head. Ah! I go, "Oh, Roland, sorry, did I stop short on that one?" But Roland and I went to Ant's, had a good time, and for me anyway, what made it the wildest compound party was the fact that DJ Who Kid shows up, and you could just tell if you look at his Instagram. I can't remember what it is, but you could, I think I retweeted one of his things. Go to @NotSam on Twitter, scroll through, you can see at least one of the videos, and then double back that way. But he shows up, and like he's in bewilderment. Yeah. He parks his Rolls-Royce outside Ant's suburban mansion, and then he goes downstairs, and he walks downstairs, and it's just a combination of scantily clad women,
Freddy Krueger,
people in weird costumes, Freddy Krueger, Batman, young guys, middle-aged guys, old guys. Everybody's had too much to drink because he didn't show up until midnight. There's people on the stage. In Ant's basement, he's got a stage, singing the whitest karaoke songs ever.
CeeLo.
Neil Diamond. And they started adding songs for Who Kid, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they started to urbanize it a little bit, where they did "Fuck You" by CeeLo and all this stuff. And Who Kid sees Ant's like Bengal cat running around on the floor. And he sees the movie theater over here, and he sees the state-of-the-art radio TV studio over here. And he's looking around like, this is what white people do? This is what you do when we're not around?
Yeah.
It blew his mind.
He wants to come now for every party.
He wants to live there.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I'm finally home. He looked like...
Imagine Who Kid in the summer.
Yeah, when there's like, when the pool's open and Denny's outside DJing. That's why I love compound parties, because his house just turns into a complete bizarro world. Yeah. And especially for somebody like Who Kid to show up, who's used to going to parties that are in big clubs. He's used to DJing big clubs and having rappers show up and bub in the club and bottles full of Chris and, you know, everything.
Yeah, I told Anna, I go, Who Kid outside but wants to take a picture with you in front of his Rolls. And I goes, you're lying. He's not even out there. I was like, he is. He goes, no, he's not. I go, you gotta go upstairs.
And he was.
Yeah, he was out there.
And he was outside with his Rolls.
Like,
Jerry in D.C.
Sam, how you doing, buddy?
Good, buddy.
So, did DJ Who Kid show up to the party driving his Rolls-Royce? Because I thought he had a suspended license from the whole Lamborghini.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jerry. We documented on this show. He called in the minute that he got out of jail for going to jail with a license that had 12 suspensions on it. 12! And he shows up to the party, and he's talking, and Jess, my wife, who was there, leans over, and she goes, did he drive here? And I go, yeah, probably. And she goes, what about his license? And I said, oh, this is too good. You ask him. And this is Jess's first time meeting him. So she goes, Who kid? Did you drive here? And he goes, oh, yeah. And she goes, oh, did you get your license fixed? He goes, no. No. Yeah. It was a blast, and we thank Anthony for his hospitality.
And then going back with him, I'm like, great, 3 minorities in the car and it rolls.
Yeah. Good luck.
Target.
Good luck. Who Kid dropped rolling off in his house. We got to make room. Ron and Fez are coming up next, and we'll be back with more of this tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.
The Opie and Anthony show is now over. For real this time. Check out the O&A show on Facebook at facebook.com/Opie and Anthony. And catch Opie and Anthony live Monday through Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. Ron and Fez are next.
Hey.